Well, guys, happy Sunday. Whew, busy day. I'm assuming everybody had a busy comic / movie / whatever you want to call this hobby, with some books just going crazy, a movie, a finale of a show. What else we got? Price changes in CGC. A ton of stuff went crazy. So yeah, let's get right to it. You guys already know me, yours truly, Newbie. If you're new to the channel, as always, hit the thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, hey, go for it. You want to ring the bell? Well, go for it. It's all good. Thank you, everybody in the chat, everybody tuning in. I know Sundays are usually jam-packed with a lot of comic content. So when it gets down to later in the night, I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, hearing me misspell some words, having Face yell at me, and then Hyper just, telling me that it's red pill, not blue pill. But speaking of, let's bring in the only three-time champ, the only champ currently on our panel. It's Mr. Hyper Combo. What's going on, man? You are muted.
My bad.
Let's try again.
Bring me back in.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. What's going on, man? Three-time champ. Congratulations on Friday. You went up against Tori. She's got some fire books. Congratulate her. Because she's got a lot of stuff. But yeah, you pulled it out, man. Good for you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Listen, I treat this championship very seriously, and I always try to bring the heat whenever I come. And I'll continue to do so as long as I'm reigning champ.
Yeah. It's not bad that you keep winning, and there's a nice prize that goes to it, because our boy
To the victor goes. Hey, man. To the victor goes
the prizes. So yeah, if you guys don't know who Tony is, make sure you guys go tune into his channel. Big shout outs to him. I've won on there twice. Hyper's won. So yeah, go check it out. And now you guys are probably thinking, okay, wait a minute, Newbie, you said you're a one-time champ, but you won twice. Yeah, I won the contender, and then I won the World Heavyweight Championship. But different story. All right, well, let's not leave our non-champion Musketeer out of the loop here. I know he hasn't won a championship on Tony's channel. But hey, he's a champion.
You start off by calling him a non-champion. He's gonna have a lot to say about that.
Oh, he's probably gonna tell me to fuck off. First thing, watch. Let's go over under. Here we go. FaceTime. What's going on?
Oh my God, this is how we're starting this show. Hyper's coming in here fucking muted. Newbie, we're gonna listen to him somehow. We're gonna listen to him misspell words. Like, that's just classic.
I'm not even drinking today. I got water. I don't even have beer or Corona or nothing. So we're going pretty sober today. But nevertheless, man, good weekend. I'm assuming you watched the show finale of Winter Soldier. I'm assuming you watched Mortal Kombat as well.
Yeah, Face, did you see it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So we get down to it. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know the way we roll. New comic book day, comic news. We're definitely going to talk Winter Soldier. We're definitely going to talk Mortal Kombat. Little bit on CGC. I know everybody's already heard the big news. So we'll just talk about it for a little. Then we got Newbie Spec of the Week. And then we're going to get right into Tuesday's show. That's going to be really cool. We got a good guest, so tune in for that. And, let's get started, I guess. Excuse me. So we got a few friends I want to talk about here before we get started. So first up, we got Big B Comics. Hyper, you bought from them. Hyper, you always tell me, hey, this book is on their website. Hyper, you're a satisfied customer. If you haven't checked it out, testimonies from Hyper, testimonies from me. I think Reno shops there, Keys shops there. Make sure you guys go check them out. 3 stores. The one I rep is Niagara, because that's where I am. Check out their Facebook and Instagram. They got a lot of goodies, man. Next up, Bleecker Street Comics. My guy. Go check out his website, bleekerstreetcomics.com. He's got over 2,000 comics on there. But wait. You can now use a promo code Newbie Comics #1 and get 10% off. All right.
Nice.
So go tune in there. Go check him out. He's got a lot of good books. He's a presser. He's a cleaner. If you see something there that you like, well, guess what? You can take care of all of that in one stop. So make sure you guys go tune in, bleekerstreetcomics.com. And next up, we got my boy Derek. If you need a logo, intro, whatever the case may be, you want your photo popped up in different shades, tell them Newbie sent you. They'll get you taken care of. And Mutant Beaver Comics, no matter where you are on this planet, whatever solar system you're on, if you watch Ancient Aliens and you're in one of those other dimensions, well, guess what? They ship there too. Use code word Newbie10, and they'll hook you up at 10%. They got a lot of good books. So tune in, check them out. All right. Hyper, you want to do roll call before I get going on New Comic Book Day?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. All right. So first up, we got Reynolds Comics. I know he apologized to me earlier in the chat because I think he voted like 10 times for me. Almost got me disqualified in my championship title. All good, Reynolds. All good. Dan De La Torre, what's up? What's that?
If the ref didn't see it, it's all good.
Dan De La Torre, what is up, my man? Bleecker Street Comics, we were just talking about you, our show's presser. What's good? Comic Dude, another fellow Canadian. Hello. Magic Lasso, what's up? RP, thanks for coming by. Tim Sinkovitz, another Canadian. Okay, Canada's really repping in this.
It's Canadian big today, man. Canadian big.
Empire Comics, welcome. What Spider likes? I believe he's from Australia, right?
I think so. Yeah. But I don't want to say for sure because if I get it wrong, I don't want him to be offended. So.
Freaky Louie, Hypermorpheus, that's right. Fapton America, I think it's the first time I'm seeing him in the chat, so welcome. And Bricks, the Iron Geek, from my neck of the woods in Montreal. What's up? Andres M, thanks for dropping by. My favorite YouTube uncle, Sith Lordley's in the house.
That's right. Yeah, he just did something. He just popped up. Man, I'm surprised. He just popped up with No Good Comics.
Yeah, I missed the live stream, so I have to check that on the replay. And, he did his usual, 6 or 7 hours marathon and spine ticks, and he still had the energy to do.
And then he did the old I wear sunglasses inside or whatever the song goes. He was feeling the heat from the night before, so he was wearing the glasses.
Wearing the shades, so
I thought that was pretty funny. Go check
right.
into that, man. And Justin at No Good, he's a solid guy. So make sure you guys go check both of them out. But again, I mean, if you guys haven't heard of Spine Ticks by now, I don't know where you've been. So
yeah, speaking of Justin, No Good Comics also dropped in. So thanks for coming by, Justin. And then we have PSA Cards 777. What's up? And I think
sunglasses.
Never mind. Dr. Lovebox. And Captain Comics, another alumni of the chat, who's also, I think, part of the Tony Sanders wrestling channel, I believe, too.
Yeah, so. He's probably got some feelings towards you because you beat him.
Right.
So you took his wife down.
You're right. Hey, listen, man. Nothing personal. That was just business.
All right, gang. New Comic Book Day, comic news. We're going to talk about Winter Soldier. We're going to talk about Mortal Kombat, a little conversation about CGC. Then we're going to get right into the spec, and then we're going to get right into our guest and the show on Tuesday. We got a really fun one for you. If you guys are keeping score at home, we moved the hottest comics of April to next Tuesday. Because we got a good guest and good knowledge coming, and I'll tell you guys right now, I'm gonna have a piece of paper, and a pen ready on Tuesday because we got a guest that's gonna give us a lot of expertise and a lot of books that we should be on the lookout for. So tune in. We're gonna have some announcements near the end of the show. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's rock it. Wow, I sounded like Pokemon there. Okay.
And welcome Cosmic Gold. He just dropped in. Thanks for coming.
Hey, what's going on, man? All right. Dun, 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 dun. Well, as always, we will start with Image Comics. And before we start, let's be real. What are your thoughts on what comes out this week? Do you guys think it's a mediocre week?
No. There's actually a lot of news, a couple of newsworthy stuff coming out that actually might get a couple of comic fans pretty butthurt. Actually, you'll see when I get to those sections.
All right, cool. Face, are you still here?
There's some interesting stuff coming out this week.
Cool. All right, guys, let's get started. First up, we got Bitterroot number 12. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody was going nuts. I forget the issue, but what was it? I think it was 6 or 3, that Purple Rain one.
The Purple Rain one, yeah.
After that, for me, it just kind of got stale. So I've kind of been passive on this series. But yeah, we're at issue number 12.
Yeah, this is probably something I'm gonna have to pick up in the trade because I kind of missed the whole series. So I'm just gonna trade wait for this.
Man, I love this series. It's been fantastic so far, and it's definitely I hate to compare it to another series that's hot like that, but like Something Is Killing Children in the horror vein, that's been popular. Stillwater, all those types of books. It's definitely has that kind of a feel to it, but it's got a unique concept, and it's great writing, great storytelling. The art in it's been pretty fantastic. So if you're not on it, check it out.
What was that?
I said safe to say Face is on it. He's picking it up.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, just a side note, if anybody watches Mighty Mel B's channel, it's Drunken Chat Son. He's actually doing an art contest that's focused around Bitterroot this time around.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, you're right.
Marvel, what's up? Thanks for jumping in.
All right, let's get into crossover number 6. Probably something that a lot of people pick up. Donny Cates, of course, one of the hottest artists around, or at least for the last couple of years. So yeah, we got issue number 6 here. I believe we have 4 covers, at least at preview shows. Probably.
Yeah, and Newbie, this is the issue that Donny Cates was tweeting. Apart from number 3, he was telling stores to apparently heavily order this issue because apparently something significant supposed to happen in this.
Yeah, so that's what he told me to do with Venom 25 too.
Yeah, so I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, it's Donny Cates, so you never know what you're gonna get with him. Obviously, there's probably gonna be some kind of surprise reveal in this of some sort.
Fuck, man, don't fall for that trap. Come on, man.
There's gonna be something. It's just
No. Like
how big of a deal is it gonna be? Who knows?
Yeah, like I'm not saying it'll live up to whatever hype is built. I'm just saying that just for anyone that's wants to be aware, he did kind of mention it. So whether it falls, whether it falls flat or not, that's we don't know.
In fairness, when he has mentioned this stuff, for the most part, like there has been something there. It just may not have lived up to the hype that everybody wanted it to. So,
listen, with how many issues come out and everything like that, I'm sure I'll be able to find one. If I wake up Wednesday or even Tuesday late, because let's face it, some people get their issues on Tuesday nights. And if something massive's there, if I see that eBay's selling them at $100 a pop, okay, I'll grab one. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get a copy regardless. I'm just not going to go down that rabbit hole with Donny Cates. It's just not one that I won. I think I'm like 0 for 3 with him. So, just not something that I kind of want to entertain.
Yeah, I'm just picking this up more for the read, not so much for the speculation.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, it's been an all right read. It hasn't been, it hasn't been the epically groundbreaking series that people thought it was going to be before it started. But
yeah, do you guys remember before it started how crazy people, like some people, I don't want to mention names, but some people were like, man, stack it, and it's going to be crazy, and it's and they would always ran back to Donny Cates.
Yeah, but it had to do with the early reports that it was going to be a big crossover between Image and DC and Marvel and everything like that, and how that was being pushed and everything like that.
Lovebox is saying he's already seen spoilers for it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that doesn't really.
We'll see.
Surprise me.
We'll see. Like I said, it's going to be an issue that you might be able to get after. I probably wouldn't call my shops, first thing in the morning and make sure you get a copy. I think you'll be fine. All right. FaZe, I know you're going to be excited about this one, but we got Department of Truth number 8. Cover A here. Basically, your typical Department of Truth cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
there is one cover that you may want to pay attention to. Just because I've noticed that Midtown is only limiting this to 1 per customer.
Is it the Scotty Young?
Yeah.
Yes, dude. Yes. I 100% think this is probably the best cover they have.
And I think it's
I know
the
there's
first
another.
cover for this series. Sorry, go ahead, Face.
I think it is actually the first Scotty Young for the series too. But I know there's another baby eating cover that's coming too. That's probably going to end up being pretty hot. But I don't remember what issue that's on. It might be one of the exclusives. Who knows? There's so many exclusives for this whole series. So
you know what's crazy is like you wouldn't. I don't know. Like obviously we know, but like say you only got into comics like last week and somebody showed you who Scotty Young is and his stuff. Like you, if I were to see this without knowing the information, I wouldn't think that this is Scotty Young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool in it itself. But yeah, this one, I always talk about like, you know, covers that make you look twice. This one made me look twice. So yeah, this is the one that I will be grabbing.
Because I mean, in a Scotty Young cover, you're probably expecting like a kid to be in a red dress because that's how he draws most of his characters, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. So yeah, this is the one that I'm grabbed. I gotta say, I'm impressed with Newbie. He dropped a like on a Dynamite book of mine on IG, and it wasn't even. What happens in previous shows stays in previous shows. All right, come on now. Okay, now we got Greiger. That's how I've been pronouncing it. I'm not the greatest at pronouncing things, but I've been calling it Greiger number 1, second
when
print.
there's not even an R.
Geiger, man.
Geiger, you know, whatever, man. It is what it is. Yeah, but we got this one right here. I really like this one. I mean, it's simple, but you know, you guys know I'm a sucker for the black covers. This is that glow in the dark one too, or no?
No. This is the image you get when the glow in the dark cover is at night, I guess.
Yeah, when it's lit up.
So is it going to be all black cover when you go pick it up, or is it going to be like that skull?
No. This is not glow in the dark. This is basically going to be like a regular cover. I'm saying that the image on that cover is basically the effect of the glow in the dark cover.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's like the after effect, I guess you could say, of the glow in the dark.
This is what the glow in the dark looks like without actually glowing in the dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the glow in the dark was a one per store, right? That one was last week.
No, it was open order.
Open order.
It was last week, but it was open order.
Yep.
Batting 0 already. Wow. Okay, and then we've got another second printing of this one. This is the 1 in 25.
Yeah, I can't believe Image is now going down that rabbit hole of late printings that are ratios. I thought Marvel,
I mean, they did it on all the fucking Walking Dead, you know. And,
what's this going on eBay for right now? You know what I mean?
You know, it's probably gonna be really fucking low printed. So.
Yeah. I saw some shops selling this for $50, I think.
50 double cut? Ooh. I'm not chasing it. No.
Yeah, I'm only grabbing the second print. I'm not running after this 1 in 25. And basically this is like the sketch variant of the glow in the dark.
Yeah, I'm passing it. We got a new series, Helm Grey Castle number 1. It's a short series. They got I believe 6 covers. There's probably going to be a lot of ratios. I'm pulling the one that I kind of like the cover wise. This is going to be a pass for me. I'm not really picking this up. However, it does include a one shot. It says there at the bottom right here, boom, 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 boom. So I guess you're getting something with it.
That's $10 fucking.
Yeah, it must be like Ultra Mega. I'm guessing it's like one of those, super thick issues.
Yeah, that shit's got to be huge.
Yeah, I'm not spending $13 on a.
Is that a limited cover or something? Maybe like that's the standard cover price for cover A.
That's cover D.
Well, it says cover D, but
here, this is cover A right here. It's right here.
Okay, that's
$5. So I wonder why that other $10.
Yeah, what makes that Cover D, $10. I don't know. Is it foil
Probably
or something?
the nicest cover out of all of them. I don't know.
Interesting. That's interesting
I've
how that.
never seen that before. Like
Well,
usually
you
it
heard it
tells
here first. You heard it here first. So moving forward, that is going to be known as the Newbie Helm Gray Castle variant right there. So
I'm pretty
no,
sure Clinton have a problem with you claiming that motherfucker.
I'm just joking. Yo, Dan, did somebody piss off Sam? I haven't seen him in the chat lately. He was your best on some spot reporter. Dude, yeah, I said that the other day, and I was even saying that today. I was like, I hope Sam shows up because he's usually like spot on with up to date prices on some stuff. So hopefully everything's good. People working different shifts. Personal things going on. Who knows? But we wish Sam well. Not like I fired him from the show. Sam's always welcome here, but that's just
He's right here. He's right. Welcome, Sam. It's like you summoned him.
There he is.
There, see, boom. Okay. See, I told you guys he wasn't fired or anything. Okay, next book. I mean, this one was, if you guys don't remember, it's always interesting for me when we do our hottest comics of the month. It's easy to do week by week, but then sometimes some books, fall through the cracks, or you don't realize that some books came out this month. But Shadecraft #1 came out. We have the second printing out right now. I'm assuming a lot of people jumped on this book, especially for this printing as well.
Yeah, because the first printing is already like a $20 book online. So, and I think the biggest thing going behind it is it was optioned even before this hit newsstands. So
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I will say I do like the issue #1, like the original cover, like the white. I'm not a big fan of this cover. It's not the best one. So
I mean, apparently, regardless of cover though, it was still a great issue. So.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, apparently though, with that first, because mine's still in my pull and I have to get it mailed to me. But apparently with that issue 1, because it was a white cover and the back of it was black, when it was getting stacked, apparently there was a lot of color rubs, so it was kind of tough to get a 9.8 on some of those covers because the quality, the printing quality apparently wasn't that great on that first issue.
And then if you can't get enough of Shadecraft, well, you got issue #2 as well. So this is the cover A. This is kind of similar to what we saw in that, issue #1, right? Cover wise, but yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to cut back. So like, I don't know, but like, I feel like I should get issue 2. And I don't know, man. It's hard. It's hard because you try to cut back and then you get.
With indies, I generally find if you're only buying it for speculation purposes, it's usually the #1 that's usually tends to pop off. And obviously, depending on how popular the series is, the subsequent issues would only matter if there's like a new appearance or something like that. But usually, if you're trying to like really, really limit in terms of your budget, just go with #1. If, like I said, if that's the only reason you're picking up the series. But from a reading perspective, I heard it's actually really good also.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I read the first issue and it was really good.
Versus saying he's going to get it in trade.
And it's another one of those image horror series that.
Yeah.
I agree, Tim. It does look like Avenging Spider-Man 12. I think it's the one with the Spider-Man and Deadpool in the front office.
Yeah.
Yes. Man, good on you. Yeah. We had hopes that Key Issues would be on here. Every time I see Spawn, it sucks when he's not on. He is, Spawn is one of his top 2 guys. But we got Spawn 317. I will be honest with you guys, and no, I'm not going to say I don't remember talking about 316 issues before this. I just feel like it's been a while since we talked about Spawn. Do you guys have the same feeling, or just me?
I mean, we've mentioned it, obviously every time that it's come out for the last few months. It just hasn't been as big since I think like issue 311 with the Chadwick Boseman cover. Like that was the really
right.
huge one to pop off and I guess really make an impact. Since then it's just been kind of fairly par for the course with Spawn. been, you know, a decent read, but some new characters and stuff. And you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the future of Spawn, and everything that's going on right now is supposed to be leading into it. So,
Right.
Here's the McFarlane one. Here's cover B.
Shout out to Hidden Gem Comics for joining in, and also Azorus Tiger, also from the Spinetix crew. Welcome. And Sparks Comics also did his
FOC. Come on, man, Mr. FOC himself.
Yeah, so definitely tune into that because you still have time for your FOC, at least on the preview side before Monday. DC, you'd probably have to get your orders in by tonight.
And if you guys don't know who Sparks is, make sure you guys go tune into his show, his FOCs. He knows his stuff. He's usually the one who's laughing when people weeks later are like, oh, I missed out on that, because he's the one telling you the information. So make sure you guys go tune into Sparks. And then finally, the Matina, the last one right here. I know for a fact Keys is probably going to pick up all 3 issues. I'm wondering, are you guys picking up all 3, or are you guys just sticking to cover A?
I tend to like the McFarlane's doing a cover, right? In one of the 4 issues. I tend to pick the McFarlane covers generally.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to limit to only the covers that I like, but the problem is that I've been liking them all. So,
what's up, Miguel? What's going on? All right, and then we got Stray Dogs number 2, second printing. You know, let's be real. You know, books come out, and then the following week their second printing, third printing, 95th printing comes out. So yeah, we got Stray Dogs number 2. What's the homage to this one? Is this a movie? I can't remember. I'm terrible with my horror movies.
I don't know if this is Rear Window, maybe.
Rear Window.
The Alfred Hitchcock.
I'm gonna have to probably Google it or something.
I don't even know if that's really a homage, because they usually do that with the first printings. I'm not sure if this is actually paying homage to anything. But listen, this is probably one of my favorite indie reads right now. And that last issue, number 3, was a bit of a tearjerker. So.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah.
This has been
sometimes it's healthy for you. So
yeah, okay. Sometimes you gotta let out a bit of a cry.
Sometimes we have to lose one of our close fictional characters in order to like move on. You know what I mean?
Spoiler alert.
If I did it with Iron Man, I mean, I'm sure you could do it with Stray Dogs. Okay, so you know, just
it's but no, honestly though, like anyone that's not on the series, I would recommend it. It's only 5 issues also, so definitely pick it up.
Yeah, and finally, because it is a number 1, we've got Summoners War Legacy number 1. Oof, I don't know.
Based off something.
It's a World War, the mobile game or whatever. It's probably a pass for me.
Yeah. Not really feeling it. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the commercials for the mobile game, but I haven't played it, so I can't tell you shit about this.
Yeah, it is what it is. Unless there's like a code in there for something. I mean, I'm with Renos here.
Yeah, it's not important, so.
Big shout outs to Manny. What's going on, man?
What's up?
Dan, I'm ugly when I cry. All right, let's go on to Dark Horse. We don't really got much. I mean, other than Cyberpunk 2077, You Have My Word, number 1. I don't understand why we add 17 words to a title, but here we have. Yeah, it's a pass for me. I'm not really picking this up.
Yeah, it's based on the video game though. So I think it's like it's a second story. The first one was a 4-issue series, so now I guess this is just the second installment of it.
Pass on all of Dark Horse.
That's what
it's actually funny. I think they're pretty much all video game titles in Dark Horse, because even the Dragon Age one is also a video game.
Yeah. Okay, so this one's going to be a lot of fun. So we got G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, 280 face. You're probably the only one picking up these G.I. Joes. You're more of the newer. I mean, not to say you don't collect the older, but you do collect the newer run of G.I. Joe. It's something that you really like. I'm more of an old school G.I. Joe guy, so it's a pass for me. But I'm assuming that you're going to be picking these ones up.
For sure, and in most cases, this issue is probably going to be, unless you're really on the series, it's probably just at best a cover buy because of Barron's being on it. It's completely a filler issue before the actual important issue next month, where they introduce a new character. I mean, it's G.I. Joe, so
Is this your like Donny Cates impression right here? Or?
Yeah, man, it's gonna be the next big thing.
You guys always joke with me. Well, some people in the chat, Face did for a bit, Hyper, I think thought I was joking about this when we first talked about it, but it's finally here. It is finally here. We have to talk about it. We've got My Little Pony Transformers crossover number 2. So let's repeat. We got My Little Pony Transformers 2 number 1.
Do you have to keep saying it?
It's a crossover. So
the cover's fire though.
Yeah, some of these go for money. Believe it or not, laugh. I mean, if you guys,
it's a ratios movie that you kind of have to pay attention to for this series, because the ratios that I kind of find catches fire later on.
Listen, I understand you're a 3-time champion, but you can't just cut me out. Like, we get it. This is but like.
We're really going there. All right.
Yeah.
I
feel like some people will pick this up a little. Like, as we go on now, like, I feel like the niche is kind of out of the hat. You know what I mean? Like, people will pick it up just thinking, oh, maybe I'll be able to make a quick buck, like those earlier ones did. So, for that, it's something to talk about, because if you do see it at your shop, who knows?
Well, I wish you stop talking about it so people don't buy my copies.
Oh, God. We got what? This one, too? We got 2 covers right here. Yeah, so this is the cover B. To be honest, I kind of like cover A. You got that Optimus Prime look. This one doesn't really do much for me, to be honest with you. So if I had to pick one or the other, it's going to be cover A.
Yeah, I like cover A.
1 in 10 for this one, though, or a 1 in 25.
You want to get the 1 in 25?
No, I'm saying the 1 in 10 or the 1 in 25 would be the ones to look out for this series.
I don't remember what incentives are on this, to be honest. But
so this is the 1 in 10.
Yeah.
It's not bad. And let's see if we got anything for the 1 in 25. So this is the 1 in 25. That one doesn't really do much for me.
What are you talking about? That actually looks like a pretty animated, nice. It's like,
I like the 1 in 10 way better than this one.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that they're both pretty nice.
Yeah, unless the 1 in 10 is probably the winner, in my opinion. So, but
I like the 25. It's got Megatron on it.
Bleecker, why is this a thing?
I know. I said the same thing.
2021, man. It's a crazy world.
I think it's because the pairing is so absurd. It's actually it's almost like it has like a niche to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Transformers, so I had to get it, but the first miniseries is actually pretty funny, so.
All right. We got a name that 1 in every 5 times I name him, I get it right. So we got Usagi Yojimbo.
Better every week.
I feel like we talked about this cover last week, did we not? Like, didn't we talk about it last week?
It's similar to some of the RIs that have been coming out on the main series that have been using the cherry blossom trees. But it's not. It's this is a different cover. It's similar to it.
Okay.
Well, because also Peach Momoko is doing this series, all of the regular covers. So maybe you probably thought it was the same cover, but it's just the same artist doing them.
Are you picking up the 1 in 10 for this week?
No, there's actually good. I don't think there's a 1 in 10 for that one.
No. Okay.
No.
I was gonna say, because that looks like the one. Yeah. Okay. So maybe it's just one of those things.
Yeah. No, the Wanderers Road series has just been the main covers after the first issue.
Okay. So I know Tim's in here, and he's probably dying to know what my dynamite pick of the week is.
I mean, last week's pick was a bit of a startling revelation for all of us in the chat. So I don't know what you're gonna pick this week.
No, this week it's a little. I'm going back with my roots, but I'm taking this one right here. Plain, sexy. It is what it is. There's no craziness. You don't find anything about my life in here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not.
There's no craziness. Look at the reflection.
That's all right. You know, that's
Well, that's
okay.
2 different characters, so.
Oh yeah, so this is probably my my Gillette men's shaving cream pick of the week right here. Yeah, I mean it's Dynamite, guys. Come on, let's be real. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. It's not.
So much for that publisher ever sponsoring the show.
Bleaker. Ew. Yeah. Hey, you know, it's just. Dynamite's not my thing, you know. So, Newbie always with the ass covers. Hey, you know, go with what you like. All right, before we get into Marvel,
I think you're gonna say go with what you are.
No.
That would work too.
Before we get into Marvel, let's go into Boom real quickly. So we got Abbott, 1973, number 4. We're finishing off the series very closely. If you want some math skills, we're at 80% done. So I gotta say, the covers on this whole series, though, like you guys have heard me say, I really enjoyed the covers. Very colorful. You know, from an artist standpoint, I've loved most of the covers that have come out for this series.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been pretty.
That's a T-shirt right there. That is a damn T-shirt right there. But it's like Hyper said, you know, we could get sponsored by Dynamite one day. Who knows, right? So
yeah, I don't see that
happen. Not anymore. All right. We've got Berserker 1, the 977.2.5 million book of the last month, but we got Berserker 1.
What did that even mean?
There's just so many. There's just so many of these that I'm like, but we got Berserker number 1, 3rd printing foil.
Okay, so Newbie, this is what I was alluding to as what will probably make a lot of we'll probably get a lot of people butthurt this week. Do you know the story behind the allocation for this one?
Negative.
So okay, I'll just give you an example. What's that?
Same shit as the second print.
Apparently, it's even lower than the second print because one shop sent out a Facebook post saying of the 250 copies they ordered, they're only getting 18. And another shop, one of my other local shops, said they're only getting 6 copies.
Nice.
So, and that shop already told me that I probably won't be getting it because they wanted to give people that didn't get the second print a chance to get the third print. Another shop that I ordered told me the same thing, that if I get it, he's probably going to have to charge me more than cover price because if you look at it, on eBay, it's about almost 150 to 200. He's not going to charge me like that much. He said that at most it might be 30, 40. But this is probably one of those cases like, look, I almost made peace with the fact that I might not get this, and I'm not going to go chase for it because it's going to be pretty scarce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really surprising.
Wow, yeah. There's another
at
one.
least it seems like they've corrected things with the next printing that's supposed to come out, I guess. So.
That source is like, did you tell them? Listen, if I told them I was hyper, I might actually get that copy revoked. They might actually dump my copy to someone else if I tell them it's.
I can just like, because there's people sometimes that tell me, they're like, hey man, just call them and just tell me you're Newbie. And I'm always like, yeah, I don't think that's a thing, right? But I'm always picturing like, maybe like, yeah, hey man, it's Newbie. And they just be like,
like, are you new to collecting?
Okay, you know what I mean? Like they just be like, okay, yeah. Like they want me to hear it. There's only one shop, and that's Big B that calls me Newbie. And they're always like, Newbie. Everyone else they're like, who? Right, we're working on it.
Gonna look like the Star-Lord in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Get. I will say, guys. So we got Berserker number 2 coming out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 covers here. I'll just highlight the one that I really like. Um, I don't mind this one. I dig this one. I think this one's really cool.
Yeah. And there's actually a story behind this one as well. Face, do you want to take this one about the something is killing?
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Oh, you.
No, 'cause I was mentioning the third print. I figured you want. All right. So regarding this one, for those of you that have been following the whole 8th printing of something is killing the children, if you would have ordered the foil printing of Berserker #1, they had an insert card in there. To qualify to get the 8th printing of something is killing the children, you had to order issue #2 as well from the same shop. Once you get both of those issues, technically the shop is supposed to give you the 8th printing of something is killing the children for free. Let me emphasize that, for free. So I have been seeing some places that are already charging just the 8th printing of something is killing the children for like $30-40. So just be aware of that, because Boom's intention was to kind of make that almost like an incentive for people to buy the Berserker series. So for those shops that are selling the 8th printing at a cost, they're not supposed to.
Yeah, the problem was it did end up being an incentive to sell the Berserker series. Just nobody gives a fuck about the Berserker comic that's attached to it. For the most part, they're really going after that, something that's killing the children. And
yeah,
in a lot of cases anyway. I mean, it's still early in the Berserker series, so it hasn't built the following yet.
And Dr. Lovebox is right. There is a 75K print run on the 8th printing, so it's almost going to be like a first come first serve with most shops. So if you're one of the earlier people that called your shop and asked for that 8th printing, you might be okay. But just letting you know.
There were a lot of shops that you could get online and catch the bundles for like the night before the FOC on it came up or whatever. So
big shout out to Swaggle House. What's going on, brother? He's quick, man. I've been watching a lot more of his videos, especially since he's been on like Spine Ticks and stuff. Man, guy puts out solid content. He's reaching almost, I think, 5K in subs. So congrats to him, man. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, and he actually he was testing his live stream or something on Friday, and he did a Q&A. So you should check that out as well.
And yeah, Lovebox is saying the 8th print so far. Sparks is saying something's killing the children. 8th print is not meant to be a rare collectible thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
treated like it though.
Yeah, it's just the way things are going, man. Like Everyday Adams. Does this have legs though? Just kept taking my catchphrase here. I mean, the guys have said their thing, right? I mean, a lot of people that have read issue 1 still aren't sold. I mean, I don't think it was, I don't think you needed an app or somebody to tell you that, hey, this is probably going to be a movie. They're in the works for doing that. So who knows? Now it comes down to, which issues you should get. Probably #1. There's so many of them. So you probably need to get one of those more rare ones, one of those ratios, things like that. So I don't know. It just comes down to, research, planning, some FOC shows. That's why, I always give credit to people like Sparks, call him Mr. FOC, because you want to be ahead. You want to be prepared so you don't miss out. And if you are looking for that flipping investment, well, you got it. So, yeah. All right. Let's go to Marvel real quick, and then we'll get into DC. Because I know Face is probably dying to talk about DC.
I am.
I don't know. I just always assume you do more of the talking when it comes to DC than me and Hyper. So.
Well, I mean, I read it. I know you guys aren't as big of fans of it, so
no. All right, Face. What can you tell me? I know you're picking this one up, but we got Alien #1, 2nd printing.
Yeah, I actually I really like the cover, so I'm getting it just based on that reason alone. But that's about it. I grabbed I got the first printing, obviously. It was an interesting read. It's gonna be an adventure scene where they take the Alien series as a whole with Marvel and Disney. But I'm hoping that they'll do some good things with it.
And Face, I think there's a 1 in 25 that's like basically like the Patrick Gleason cover except in red instead of green, I believe. Right?
Yeah, I think there is actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so
That's pretty nice. I'm
Comic-
not actually going after that one. I got the Gleason for the main, so yeah.
Iber, before we go on, real quickly, Comic Dude's got a question for you.
yeah, so I heard mention Momoko's doing the Omega Rangers next for the incentives. When, man, you know what? I have to go back. I'll have to go back and find out because it's confusing because she switches between Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers sometimes. So I'll have to let you know. But I know they're starting off. She's starting off with the Red Ranger again, but the Omega version. So I'll let you guys know in the next chat. But I'll also DM you as well, Comic Dude.
Well, I'll be able to sell more T-shirts. That's for sure. All right.
You have a T-shirt?
No, but I'll start one if that's what's
All right.
So we got Black Widow as well. We got Black Widow number 6. It's been a while, but we go back to those black and white, her in the center kind of thing covers. Like you guys have heard me say, I thought all the covers for this one were kind of similar. Not like it's a bad thing. It is a dope cover. Can't deny that. Am I going to be picking this up? Probably not. Unless you're a big Black Widow fan. I mean, let's face it, you probably haven't been picking this up.
I mean, it is an Adam Hughes cover, so his covers I tend to find they kind of have. I don't want to say always long-term play, but if you look at previous series that he's done, like Catwoman and Wonder Woman, he's had some covers that have kind of popped off later on.
Yeah, actually, that's the whole reason why I'm going to be picking it up, because Adam Hughes doing the cover. I haven't actually been following the series, so yeah, I can't tell you much about it other than Adam Hughes doing the cover, so I'm going to grab it.
And Sparks, the one on FOC, that was for Power Rangers 7. That's the Green Ranger, so that hasn't started the Omega Ranger set
Yeah,
yet.
it's the last one for the originals.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Miles Morales 25, and I will say this. This is probably a pickup.
The Skyline variant, yeah.
Yeah, you should probably pick this up. I used to have the Venom one. I did have the Carnage one for a short period of time, but I just feel like the people that own them usually keep them. This is probably one of the, not a trend, but a lot of people that have these will try to get all of those people to sign it. Or whoever. So it's become like kind of a cool thing to see. I know Dave in the Cave from 3 Men in the Basement has one. There's a few people that try to get this one signed. So yeah, I really do think that a lot of people will be after this one as well.
I mean, it's not as bad as some of the other ones as far as signatures go, but it's still pretty rough.
Yeah.
Still be a lot of money.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. If it's there, I'm picking it up. I didn't put it on the poll, so we'll see how that goes. All right, Savage Avengers number 20. We kind of got this cool Spider-Man cover going on. We've got Shang-Chi, not Shang, it's Shang, and Rhino in the eyes there. I don't know. I just think it's a cool cover, even though Spider-Man is getting his ass kicked, it looks like.
I mean, he's getting choked. I mean, aren't you kind of into that Newbie based on last week's Dynamite cover?
Isn't it Shang-Chi? No.
Nope, that's Conan.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, Conan's in Savage Avengers, so.
Yeah, my bad. And it says it right there, yeah, so I apologize. That's my bad. Jeez. Yeah, that's Conan. Yeah. Pepper, I don't know what you're trying to say with all this choking stuff, right? So
You were the one that picked the Dynamite cover.
No. Let's settle down.
Whoa.
Let's settle down. All right. Let's talk to all the Star Wars people.
And shout out to David SNMC that just joined in. Thanks, man, for popping in.
What's going on, brother? All right. We got Star Wars Darth Vader. Wow. Fuck. Number 11.
That'll never escape you.
Jesus. Every time I see it, I'm like, don't say death. Don't say death. And then, it happens. So we got Darth Vader, number 11. I mean, to be honest, this guy just, this reminded me of, that, the guy that's not invited to the party. Like, everyone behind him kind of has a sword getting ready, and he's just walking alone kind of thing. It's a cool cover, I guess. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, like you guys already know. It's probably going to be a pass unless I get some spoilers or I know that there's going to be a first appearance for me because I'm not a Star Wars guy. I don't pick up Star Wars, so.
Well, we can tell you just made that abundantly clear. Because that is not what that cover is at all. That's a whole bunch of motherfuckers with lightsabers about to get the ass handed to them by Darth Vader. That's what that is.
I'm surprised Newbie didn't say something like, it looks like Darth Vader going into a party that has like glow sticks or something.
No. But you know what I mean? Like, hey, I don't know much about Star Wars. I'm very vocal about that. I don't know anything. So, and I feel that, watching those Star Wars movies, like I told you guys I would in the winter, I couldn't get around to it, man. So.
How many have you seen so far besides the Phantom?
That's it. Phantom Menace. That's the only Star Wars knowledge I have. That's it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so that checks out.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking. That's what that is. That's heartbreaking.
Listen, the only way I'm picking this book up is if you guys tell me there's a first appearance. If not, it's probably going to be a pass for me.
I think it's the final issue in the story arc because I think the next issue goes into the War of the Bounty Hunter stuff. So, I mean, there's going to be some kind of resolution to where they're going right now. So it's hard to say what you can see on that issue.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be, I guess, the first appearance of the planet Exegol.
Oh man!
If you want a real stretch, I guess.
Hey, listen, Madripoor is pretty hot, so even locations sometimes have their first appearances.
Right? Hey, you never know.
Okay, so it's going to be a pass for me. Let's see here.
Oh no! Gotta go back up there.
For joining in, Matt Vitale, welcome. Oh, Matt Vitale actually has a question for you, Newbie. He's asking if you're a Trekkie.
No. And hey, nothing against Star Trek, Star Wars. I'm not against Star anything. Just never really got into it, man. Just not my thing. I don't know. But I don't hate. I know Star Wars and Star Trek people. You guys don't like each other. It's two different worlds. It's things like that. So I get it. I respect it. I don't know much about it. So.
I think you'll probably like both. If you can manage to like Marvel and DC, why can't you like Star Trek and Star Wars?
It's just not something I got into, man. I don't know. I'm gonna be 33, so you're kind of set in your ways at this point.
No, it's time to broaden your horizons, bro.
You sound like you're 60. You still have
right? Fucking cranky old man.
Come on, man.
This is who I am, and I'll never change.
All right, we got U.S. Agent number 5. You guys already know how I feel about U.S. Agent.
Newbie. Before we jump on U.S. Agent, we got to talk about the Marvels.
All right, well, we're already on here, so why don't we do this one and then go to that one?
Okay, well, yeah, that worked. We can do that.
Yeah, so you guys know how I feel, and I'll keep it really brief. Not picking it up, and fuck this guy.
You just wanted to say that. That's the whole reason you pulled this.
I mean, okay, we're not going to – we'll talk about that later, but okay.
This miniseries has actually been pretty decent. Like, it has not been anything groundbreaking by any means, but it's been a fun read so far. So
I can't speak much on this, so I'll take face word on it.
Bad
I don't want to spoil anything.
Ouch! I mean,
interesting twist turns, but
so Champ Hog pulled a
Newbie. Crazy old man Newbie.
Right?
Well, to begin the training. Yeah, Jeff gets me. All right, which book did you want to talk about? Oh, the Marvels one?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Marvels.
All right.
I mean, first of all, it's a cool cover because it's Alex Ross. But I guess the big thing with this is that there's going to be like 4 different first appearances in this thing. The synopsis sounds pretty out there, so I'm not sure how relevant any of these first appearances are going to be, but there is going to be some first appearances in this series, specifically this issue, apparently. So,
I don't think a lot of people were talking about this book, and I might be wrong when we talked to like our FOC guys, but I just haven't really heard much about this book. So I'm probably going to have to do some quick research on this book tonight and tomorrow.
You're talking about Marvels or the comment that you're highlighting right now?
No, Marvels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Lovebox comment, yeah, they're definitely talking about that issue.
Yeah, I'll see if I can bring it up. Yeah, for sure. Let's see, where is it? Silk.
Yeah, so I think you just. Yeah, I think there's only one race. Yeah, that's the one. the bubble tea variant.
Oh yeah, with the shoes, yeah, and then Gwen's got one too, yeah. So be on the lookout for both of those.
Yeah. I'm
Is it
sure
125?
it's a 1 in 25, but I'm seeing shops already selling this for like 100 or so. So
Jeez, yeah. So if you're gonna be missing out on this one at $100, I'd probably say it's already out of reach for me. I just won't spend $100 on something like this. But the Gwen, what is it? Gwen Stacy one comes out, the Spider Gwen. She has one similar, I believe. So I think it's blue. So be on the lookout for that. Not this week, but in coming weeks. So that's probably going to mirror if you're looking for, like a flip and investment. It's probably going to do the same thing. So yeah.
it's a nice cover, but yeah, like you, I kind of have a cutoff for these kind of things.
Yeah,
there's
no point. All right, and finally, before we get into DC, we got X-Men Legends #3. I'll just bring up the action figure variant one with my guy Beast there. I don't know.
That's your guy.
Well, I just picked up a bunch of Beast keys, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are actually the covers that I'm picking up from this series. That's pretty much the whole reason that I've been on the series. Was because of these covers. The first 2 issues dealt with Adam X and his relationship to Cyclops and Havoc. And I think this issue shifts to like a different story arc. So kind of like it's like more like an anthology series of stories that already exist in X-Men continuity, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
it was a decent story and everything like that. Cool cover with the action figures, so, but nothing's as far as like spec value or anything like that so far.
Damn, Empire, you made yourself $100 then.
Well, let's just hope that your shop doesn't charge you eBay prices, and he gives you a fair price for it.
All right, well, before we get into the news, spec, all that jazz, we got DC to go through. So let's get into it. Let me just make it easier for myself. Bum, 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 bum. All right. First up, we got Detective Comics 1035.
Yeah, I believe there's a first appearance in this one.
Of course, Batman. There's a first appearance every other week.
No, because 1034 actually sold out and actually went to second print, which you don't normally see in Detective Comics. Because I think there was a appearance. I'm trying to pull it up. It's a cameo of Flatline that was in 1034, and she's gonna appear in Robin. 1035.
Mr. Worth.
Yeah, it says introducing Mr. Worth right there in the synopsis.
Yeah,
like first 4.
The second word. Or name. Yeah.
I mean, this is already on my pull list anyway, so I'm just picking up Detective Comics in general.
Yeah, I mean it's Batman. So.
Yeah. There's probably going to be a copy, but yeah, I haven't really been pulling out Detective Comics in a very long time. I mean, if I can see how the trends are going, say Wednesday, and it's going for a flip, I mean, I might, but if not, I'll probably just leave it on the shelf, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Action Comics 1030. We got Superman doing Superman things.
Yeah, this is
not really anything. Like I'm not into Superman, period. So like for me, all Superman related stuff is usually a pass.
I've been picking up most of the DC stuff since the, I guess like I don't know what we're calling it, soft reboot of Death Metal, and it's been pretty good so far. Yeah, I don't know about Superman though. We'll see.
Chef, I can't speak for Hyper. I think we've talked about it, but no, I was unable to get that. Every store that was around me was sold out big time.
Just regarding that, for anyone that's actually trying to pick it up more so for the codes or something, Ultra Maximus mentioned this also on yesterday's Point. This is pretty much a quick flip at best, because what a lot of people don't know is that the late printings of that issue 1 is going to have the same exact code. So it's not a case where if you miss the first printing, the code, you're out of luck on the code. If you wait for the second or third printing, you will still get the same code. So the people that are paying $25, $30, they're probably not aware of that fact. So
I didn't know that. So that's
Well,
good.
I mean, on the other hand, though, and yeah, it's probably not a whole lot of value there, but I read somewhere that the codes were good till like May of 2025 or something like that.
2025, yeah.
Yeah. So after those books are printed and everything like that, and they're done, there's going to be a limited amount of codes that are out there. So if you can hold on to them for the long haul, you might have something.
Yeah, but think about it this way, like Epic.
Assuming Fortnite stays not that long.
Yeah, but Epic Games doesn't really care so much about the secondary. They just want to make sure that a lot of
right.
their game is in the hands of a lot of players. So for them, they don't mind going through more printings.
How is this? Like, I get it. Hey, collect and do whatever you want with your money and your slabs, but like, wow. Okay, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, they're probably going to have some kind of. There might be some kind of a notation on there that could be niche for like CGC collectors.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
I don't get too much into the CGC thing. I joked the other day, being like, you have a lot of people, and no offense to anybody, but like I know I've seen it where like new comic book day comes out, some dudes grab 30 books and they pay for them, and then they slide them back to the guy because they're sending them off to CGC, and most of those books are just nothing books. And when you do that so many times over and over, you could see everything that's going on with CGC and all that. That's where I'm going to leave that. We're not talking CGC. But yeah, it's just crazy, some of the books that are getting slapped. And like Ultra said and like Hyper said, it's literally going to be a quick flip. You got to be quick, especially during COVID where, some places like where I am are shut down. So all we have to do is talk new comic book day or new books that are coming out or FOC, and you already knew that some of this information was coming out. So you got to be kind of quick on that flip in order to make top dollar, right?
Yeah.
All right, we got Batman, Superman 17. Again, this is a pass for me, and it's no disrespect to DC. It's just not really a consistent, grabber when it comes to DC stuff.
Shout out to Johnny Rosado, who also just joined the chat. Yeah, well, yeah.
Jesus, whew. Coming in hot. He doesn't even say
how you feel.
Hey, fuck
how I really feel.
Okay, all right. Well, hey, Johnny, welcome, man. Yeah, so this is gonna be a pass for me.
Yeah, I was I got on this series. Well, actually, I've been on this series since the beginning because it started with the Infected storyline that tied into everything that was leading up to Death Metal, but it switched over to Josh Williamson writing it, and I got really excited about it because I thought he was going to be writing it for a while, and I guess he was just doing a fill-in arc or something like that because it's got a new creative team. The first issue that they did was interesting. It looks like there's going to be a lot of new characters introduced in what they're doing now, but it's hard to say how big of a deal any of them might end up being because a lot of them look like they're going to be alternate realities, different dimensions, shit like that. So who knows?
Yeah, pass. We got Robin #1. I'll admit it's a cool cover.
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, this one's getting some hype because of that first, I guess you could say, full appearance of Flatline.
Well, and Josh Williamson, like I was just talking about, is actually writing this series now. So
yeah, and actually,
pretty interesting.
I think cover B, the wraparound actually has her on the cover.
Which one's the wraparound?
It's the one at the bottom right.
This one?
No, next to it. Yeah.
That's left.
Right.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. All right, so guys, you know how it works when Hyper
knows correct.
Brain froze. Oh, I'm so glad.
That's definitely not her.
Because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, what?
And you know what the funny thing is? I realized my mistake once I said it, but then I'm like, I'm gonna have to fully commit to this at this point.
Well, at least you didn't break keyfab.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good. Well, hey,
it's funny.
Is it okay? I don't know.
But they didn't show the back because she's in the back
Yeah,
part of
if
the.
it's a wrap, maybe. What's on the sketch cover there?
No, 1 in
I think
25.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's her.
there you go. That's Flatline.
Yeah, so she's on both the 1 in 25 and the wraparound, I guess. But obviously, the cheaper version is the wraparound.
Yeah, 100%. Teen Titans Academy number 2.
Yeah, the mystery of Red X deepened.
Yeah.
47 issues later, we're starting to feel like this is fucking Kindred now. No, it's actually hasn't been that.
I really hope
it doesn't go that route. I really hope.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been that bad, but they have been, dragging it out for a little bit on the Red X reveal. So hopefully we'll get it soon, because it would be nice to find out who it's supposed to be.
That line for a character must.
Hey, no judgment. Hey, no judgment.
All right, we got a Harley Quinn number 2. It's kind of got, I don't know.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not the biggest fan of the A covers on this, but it's Harley, so I'm picking it up. I've been grabbing the B covers. I grabbed a copy of the A cover anyway, just because, I'm annual return up like that. But
and we got finally the last book. We got Batman Black and White number 5. I think Reno said it, and Face, I think you were pretty big on these, but like they have been kind of cool covers. I really like this one, to be honest. Strictly cover for me. I don't know if I'll buy it. I didn't really pull it or ask. If it's there, it's there. If not, I'm okay walking out with it not being in my collection.
Yeah, it's been decent read. Nothing, it's another anthology sort of like fill-in type series. But yeah, great covers so far on it. So worth a read if you can, spare it in your pools, spare the room in your pool. But
they need to really make Harley Little more serious character. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that she's more serious in those Black Label, DC Black Labels. But yeah, it seems like in the mainline series, she's more of a comedy character at this point. Unfortunately.
Yeah, for the most part.
We get to the point in our show where we talk news, we talk the show that happened on the previous Friday this week. It was the finale of Winter Soldier. So right now, that was our new comic book bit. We got comic news. We're going to talk about the shows, Mortal Kombat, talk a little bit about CGC. That's probably going to get a little heated. Depending on what side of the coin you're on, and then we're going to get into Newbie spec of the week, and then like I said, we're going to get we're going to dab into some information about Tuesday's show. So let's start off with Winter Soldier first. We'll leave news to the end. So hype. If you don't mind dropping the spoiler talk, ruin it for everybody. We do like to give people in advance to like get out or pause it if they haven't watched it. I've been there. I know some people are like, Newbie, it's been 2-3 days. Hey, Titanic 2 has been out for 4 years. I haven't seen it yet. So, all right. So, where do we begin? I mean, this episode, we get a really quick in, like, he comes in already, in the suit. It's action packed right from the start. It's not a slow episode. You probably would get a better feel for it if you watched the last 2 episodes like back to back, because it really does just get like you have no time to just like gather your thoughts. It's literally like right in. He comes in the suit, which everybody knew that comic has spiked. Obviously, everybody knew that was going to happen. That just kind of, solidified it. I will say it was kind of anticlimactic in some areas for me. The whole thing with Sharon Carter is probably going to be big. I mean, the fact that she, it's funny because I was talking to so many people and watching so many shows the last couple of days, and people were like, "There's no way that she's power broker." It ends up being she's power broker. It's interesting for me the importance of what she said at the end of the episode. And I know I just went from the start to the end, and I didn't really talk about anything in the middle. But at the end, what she said, she calls whoever she calls. We don't hear a voice, right? She just calls and says, we'll be able to see what's going on, information, and prototypes. Prototypes. So you got to start thinking, okay, what prototypes can we get into? Like what costumes, what things like that. And my mind automatically went to like X-Men. My mind automatically went into Iron Patriot suit, Oscorp, things like that. That's just kind of where my mind went. I don't think that you get a clear image of what she could truly be. Like, I don't think she's Mystique. I don't think she's Skrull. I think they would have shown it or talked about it. The fact that she keeps these relationships, on the phone and all that. I think that's clear. She's just human. She's her normal thing. And then, obviously the guy that I fucking hate, Mr. John Walker, he's got his suit. It was interesting what Val said, where, she's like, we're going to need a U.S. agent. We're not going to need a Captain America. So that's kind of interesting how they go about that. But yeah, I mean, hey, the episode does take, it does have emotional parts to it as well. I have a lot of African-American friends who are really into comics, and they were like, oh man, that scene where, the Falcon does that thing for Isaiah Bradley in the statue. I mean, I know a few people that were like, man, but hey, it happens. So yeah, you kind of had a lot of emotions and things like that. I don't think that, even me, myself included, I mean, hey, I was wrong with a lot of books that I spec'd on before, but that's why you spec on it before the show, right? It's supposed to be fun and things like that. There's a lot of shows that didn't really hit on a lot of them, but that's okay. It's supposed to be fun. But yeah, it was the last episode, and we still had people, like, I remember people messaging me late Thursday night and then even Friday morning, not seeing it, being like, oh, do you think we're going to get like Wolverine or Daredevil or, Red Hulk? And I'm like, no, we're not going to get any of those people. So yeah, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, or what your takeaways are from the show.
Face, you want to take it? Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so listen, I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole season from start to finish. There wasn't one episode that I didn't think that it didn't deliver. It was pretty much like go, from the opening minute. There wasn't really much of a slow period. It only pretty much slowed down at the end. But I just thought that there was a lot of fan service done for this episode in terms of how comic, and I think Hidden Gems mentioned how comic accurate the suits were, like, for US Agent and for Sam Wilson's Captain America suit. And the thing that I do sometimes is after I watch the episode, I actually go to YouTube and I watch some of these fan reactions, more so from the casual people that aren't comic readers, because I want to get their perspective on how they're. And I kind of feel like sometimes when you read the comics and you kind of see certain things coming, like when people are expecting like that Captain America suit, I'm not saying that it takes away the moment a bit from us, but like when you see those casual audiences, when they're watching it, they have no idea about the comic books, and then they see that suit, it's like, for them it's like a holy shit moment, but for us it's almost like, yeah, I kind of saw it coming kind of thing. So in one sense you got that aspect, but look, I think a lot of things that seemed a bit too obvious, that some people thought that might have been a swerve, end up still being the case. Like, people thought that it was a bit too obvious that Sharon Carter is the power broker, so they thought that would have been a swerve, but it turned out that she actually was the power broker. And they thought that maybe there was a swerve with the whole Captain America thing, but turns out, what's up?
Sorry, no, I'm laughing at Jeff's comment. He's like, I loved Lethal Weapon 6. I mean,
it does definitely have that Briggs and Murtaugh feel to it.
Uh,
I think someone else compared it to Lethal Weapon 6 as well.
listen,
Not Lethal Weapon 6.
Keys knows. I have a buddy, or we have a buddy. More so me, but Keys knows him. We have a great relationship, and from the beginning, a lot of people were like, "Hey, you guys act like Bucky and Sam," and it's just always funny to see this show and these two characters together because it reminds me of a buddy of mine, and we always joke around with it. So it was fun. What? And sorry, I don't mean to cut you off or ruin your 2 minutes. I just realized one thing too is who was the old guy that blew up the truck? And
that was he was the hand of Baron Zemo. He was basically his butler or something of that sort. Yeah, that's why they cut away to Baron Zemo at the raft right after that happened, because it's like pretty much his plan came to fruition. That he pretty much he orchestrated the whole bombing.
Okay, because it was weird because that army guy was like one world, one people, and then he shuts.
Yeah.
And then it blows up, and I'm thinking like, wait, did they get away? Because there's two. So.
Yeah, because at first when they blew up, I thought, okay, maybe they blew themselves up so they don't snitch or something, so they don't turn themselves in. But I'm thinking, okay, that can't be it. And then when they cut away to the guy, to his butler in the car, okay, figured Zemo had handed that, and then sure enough, you see him give that grin. It was a bit kind of contrived how it's like he just happened to have it like broadcasted that the 4 people exploded. But yeah, so. And just as I predicted, I didn't think Baron Zemo was going to be a factor much in this episode. He only basically popped in that one scene, and that was it. I think we definitely will be seeing a lot more of Zemo. I do believe that the Thunderbolts will be something of a reality. Yeah, and I think U.S. Agent will probably factor in more into that realm, the whole Thunderbolts. The other, and look, there's a lot of emotional beats to this episode. You mentioned Isaiah Bradley's statue being put in the whole monument, and what else was there? When Bucky had to confess to the old guy about him killing his son, I think that was pretty much like him closing the chapter on the whole his past Winter Soldier life, and pretty much moving on. So that was nice to get some closure. Honestly, for me, one of the saddest moments in that show was, me being a UFC fan. When I saw my boy GSP being put down, like, why didn't he take the super serum? I asked myself that. So, more than Carly Morgenthau getting shot, I thought the GSP thing really broke my heart. So, yeah. All in all, though, great episode, and I'm curious. I know that. Okay, so here's the thing. I've heard about Captain America 4, but I'm wondering if we're going to get a season 2 of this Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I think it seems more likely that we get a season 2 and not a movie, to be honest with you. As much as I would love a movie, I just think that they might be able to capitalize more, make more capital. You see the effect that this show has week to week. That's all people talk about until the next episode. So I think that they got something here, especially with the WandaVision, especially with these characters that are kind of like not necessarily out the door, but still relevant, I guess, for better lack of words, right? I mean, I respect, Winter Soldier is one of my favorite characters.
But didn't they already announce that it's a movie? Like the writers for the TV program are writing a movie script.
I don't know if it's confirmed or anything. I mean, a lot of people hyped up and they were posting it, but who knows? It's a rumor. Anything's a rumor.
And yeah, Dr. Lovebucks. I never praised GSP's acting, but I mean, his cheesy acting is kind of gave him his charm in the show. I found that whole thick French Canadian accent trying to be all menacing. Come on, that was adorable.
Hidden Gem is asking what our favorite episode was. I'd probably say the last 2, 5 or 6, just because you get more of the bulk and things like that.
I would say the finale. I would say the finale, just because there wasn't really much of a slow period until pretty much near the final act of that episode.
Yeah.
Like, people complain about things being, too exposition heavy or word heavy. I thought that this episode delivered.
Yeah.
Mine would have been the Zemo cut for sure. That Marvel released on YouTube actually, but that's just my personal preference.
Wait, which one?
The Zemo cut, man.
Oh, you're talking about the 1 hour dance scene?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I love this series, but aside from all of the political and the emotional aspect and everything that goes into it, I think one of the things that a lot of people haven't really been talking about as much, or maybe in the right framing, I guess, is the thing with Sharon Carter being power broker and everything like that. You know, Marvel, they're making movies and they're making these series and everything, and they're telling stories that may be similar or whatever to different comic book runs and everything, but they're not going to be exactly the same, and the lore is going to change over time.
Mhm.
And I think that's the thing that gets a little bit dangerous for Marvel, because a lot of hardcore comic fans, aren't really going to like that unless they maybe get used to it. But it is going to be something that we're going to see more and more of. There's going to be different takes on characters that, we've known in comic book continuity for years. There's going to be different story arcs, different angles that get played and everything like that. So it's just going to be the future of these series, and people are going to have to get used to it, or they're just going to have to not like them.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was very interesting, and it didn't come up, kind of my thought process until later. Is it in your opinion, big deal, little deal? Am I just telling you this for the first time? But the fact that they used, I mean, they could have used anybody, but like, do you think that the fact that they used in the show Bucky helping that Asian man out after he killed his son, and then using that Asian woman, like, do you think they're using those Easter eggs of like Asians to kind of portray like, hey, and like with Shang-Chi coming and all this stuff coming, like, do you see it as more of an Easter egg? Nothing at all there. Or maybe am I reading too much into it?
No, you know what? Because we kind of had early speculations on, the Asian bartender that, he kind of went on a mini date with, how we thought that maybe she might be Jolt or something from Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not completely I'm not giving up on that theory completely, just because you see in the last scene that he kind of walks through that shop window and she kind of looks at him, and he kind of just looks and then kind of walks away. I don't think we're going to see the last of her. I have a feeling that she's going to...
What's her name? I forget the name.
Oh, I do not know. Yeah,
like, just to do some like recon and some intel like later on, like it could come. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. And again, it has nothing to do with race, but the fact that they chose Asian, they're going, with these minority groups and things like that, like with Shang-Chi and things that are coming. I just thought that maybe that was an Easter egg. Who knows, right? So yeah, I don't know. I will say, if somebody killed my son and came to tell me, I mean, what did you expect was going to happen, kind of thing. So
and you know what? I'm kind of glad that they didn't do the cheesy route where, like, they could have easily did a thing where he says, "Oh, I killed your son," and then it's like, "Oh, okay, all is forgiven." Like, no, it shouldn't be that simple. There should be some pain and all that and separation. So I'm kind of glad.
Oh no, Lovebox. I meant like her name in the show.
I don't think she was named in the show.
I think Hidden Gem might be correct. I think she was just called Asian Bartender.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. That's how they put it in the credits, but yeah, it probably was.
No.
I don't think at all.
Yeah, they probably dropped the word Asian and probably just called it bartender. I don't think they're going to start labeling.
Yeah, probably.
I was going to go that route. Yeah. Well, overall, I mean, I really enjoyed this one. This one kind of had more closer to home. There wasn't the magic realm. There wasn't any of that stuff, right? So I think that, from that standpoint, it was just, it might have been easier to follow. Same with like the Easter eggs and things like that. I think that, they did a good job. Like, everybody was expecting something like, WandaVision, and it didn't end up being like that. It was more action packed. It, kind of filled in some of the Sam and Bucky stuff that, we had questions about, even after the movies were done. So I thought it was a cool. I'd love to see them back again. I know they're signed on for a few more projects, so yeah, definitely something that I want to see again.
Yeah, I'm just looking up the actress's character name while you guys are talking, because now it's bugging me.
Just before we go on to Mortal Kombat, I want to say one thing. I thought it was interesting that we did not see Joaquin Torres as Falcon. I thought for sure he was going to show up. I really did.
Okay, thank you, Marvel. I saw the name too. I just wanted to double confirm. Yeah, her name was Leah.
Leah.
Oh, wow.
So, hey, we're going to have to search every Leah that's ever been a character in Marvel and see what happens.
You know what?
Y'all heard theory in terms of what?
I guess in terms of the show.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Like any
what's going to happen?
What's going to happen in the show?
Oh, shoot.
See, the thing is, I don't want to call it dumb because then the thing is, like, I don't want to basically put down anyone because these are all just theories, right? We don't want to insult anyone's intelligence or anything like that. But
least likely to pan out, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, okay. We'll put it that way. Least likely to pay out.
Yeah. Because somebody said it in the comments though. Think about it. I thought it was kind of cool how at the end of all the credits, it came up, you know, how they did Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then Falcon turned into Captain America. So it's going to be interesting to see if, like, moving forward, they go Captain America and Bucky, because technically him giving the book, like, he's done being Winter Soldier, right? So.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to I mean, he's technically, I mean, he still keeps the Winter Soldier name, though.
Yeah, it's still his name.
So
different part of his life. So I don't know. It's kind of cool. I really do like the way it ended, though. You know, him and Sam being with his family and barbecuing and all that stuff. Like, you know, you kind of had your, you know, the two guys being friends, letting loose. You could tell that Bucky was done with all that. So it was kind of cool.
And just to answer, sorry. Vancouver Comic Junkie, welcome. Sorry, I completely cut your intro.
Jeez, man. Again, I get it. You're a three-time champ.
No. I was trying to answer Dr. Lovebach's previous question for us. In terms of least likely theory that didn't pan out, which I didn't think it would be the Omega Red showing up in the series. I didn't really have much faith in that character showing up. That would be, I guess, my.
I was hearing a lot of people, and I kind of made even the assumption, like, again, I fell for it. In the sense that, like, I was reading too much into it. So, like, when the last episode was going to be in New York, my mind started thinking, okay, let's look at some of the heroes or some of the people that are in New York, right? And then I thought, you know, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Iron Fist. Not to say that those characters would hop in, but I thought, okay, maybe we could see a teaser, maybe we could see an Easter egg, maybe we could see something. Again, I'm not going by the stupidest because it's all spec, it's all idea, it's all fun. And somebody had that, you know, those ideas. I think, if anything, what was a stretch? I think Omega Red or Red Hulk was a stretch. And I'm guilty of saying Red Hulk. I never thought Omega Red was coming. Let the record show. But yeah, I just didn't think that those characters were going to show up in this show.
Yeah, I think I think there's still a chance that we will see Omega Red in the future, but
100%.
He just fits the X-Men more.
Not in the show.
Like, he just doesn't fit the show. So I kind of think that was the one that was most out there to me.
Whoa.
I mean, there are connections that could be made there, but.
What?
Interesting.
Nobody go on eBay. Nobody listen to this comment. Nothing.
Newbie's taking it away.
All right. Before we get into spec, we got one more, 1.5 things to talk about. But Mortal Kombat, let's be real. I think I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat. And I know people were talking about it. So, you know, hopefully I'm not spoiling it for anybody. It is what it is. So I paid money to see it on my Crave. If you're in the US, I don't know if you know what Crave is, but it's just another service. Or no, it was on Amazon Prime actually.
Yeah, you gotta be, because Crave almost sounds like a porn site.
Yeah. No, it is Amazon Prime though. I just remembered. So Amazon Prime, Mortal Kombat came out Friday. For the most part, I kind of know how Hyper and Face feel. I definitely know how Key Issues feels about the movie. But yeah, let's talk about it quickly. Me being a Sub-Zero guy, I love Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero was iconic. Anytime I played the video game, that's who I played it as. That was just kind of cool. They made him super tough and gangster and like just the threat that he should be. In my opinion, the acting in general, not just Sub-Zero, in general, wasn't the greatest. I also think there was a lot of times where Kato took kind of the scene, you know what I mean? Like with his like, not stupidness, but like I was watching it with my girlfriend, and even my girlfriend was like, she was laughing during the movie, and I'm like, it's supposed to be a movie about laughing, right? And she even made the comment of like, oh, this guy's just taking all the scenes here, and I was like, yeah, that's not how the movie should be, right? I thought Scorpion was amazing. Sub-Zero, yeah, both of those characters. I just thought it was kind of stupid. I don't know, the Cole, I forget his last name, Cole, you know what I mean? Like Jax comes. It just seemed like everything happened quickly. Like if you go back and actually look at the movie, it almost like a day and a half. That the movie takes place over like a day and a half. That's kind of crazy to me. I don't know. It just seemed like it was like too fast. The acting wasn't great. I know Keys thinks that the lady that played Sonya was terrible. I didn't think she was terrible. But yeah. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing too. What is Jax's power?
Super strength
Metal.
in the arms.
I don't know. That's fucking.
That's so typical. Okay, all right. So yeah, so I don't know.
Keep in mind, you're talking about a movie based on a fighting video game with other realm characters, so you're gonna have to just spend a lot of you're gonna have to suspend a lot of.
Yeah, and everybody's talking about the fight scenes. Okay, I'll give you right now. Sub-Zero and Scorpion, I think that was dope. The fact that we got those two characters to fight. But I'm reading some of these blogs, I'm reading some of these reviews, and people are like, oh man, all the fight scenes were amazing. The Jax fight was terrible.
It wasn't, well, it was just short. It wasn't terrible.
Terrible.
There wasn't much to it. That's the problem.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, that was it.
I mean, it was all right, I guess.
Wow.
It was better. It was better than Annihilation.
I'm a little offended. Shit.
Wow, that's
Whew. Wow.
whoa.
But how much does he pay her? That's the question.
How much is what?
How much does he pay her? That's the question.
None, man.
Damn, you guys are ruthless.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, we love you.
Yeah, but yeah, let's get back to Mortal Kombat here. Yeah, it was just very interesting. It's going to be, a lot of people obviously picked it up. I think I looked at the numbers and they matched or they did better than the 1995 release. Yeah, it was an all right movie. I just don't think that it was like crazy. I definitely think that there's going to be a second one. They are signed on, like I said, and gave you guys that news last week. All the actors are signed on for 4 projects, depending on how this one went. So I guess it's like optioned. I don't know how it works in acting, but yeah, so definitely be on the lookout for a second one, maybe in a few years. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, they're going to bring back Sub-Zero. Obviously, Scorpion's still around, and all these characters. And obviously, at the end, they're going to find the other champions. I think that that's something that's going to be interesting to see who they get. Obviously, at the end, big spoiler if you haven't seen it, leave now. This is a spoiler. Leave. I won't tell you again. Leave. Have you left yet? Okay, so I'm going to say it. So at the end, obviously, he leaves the gym, and there's a movie poster saying Citizens Cage. So obviously you know that they're going to Hollywood to go recruit or go get Johnny Cage. So
Yep.
that's the big one. So yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean,
God, no.
oh
Please.
my gosh, if the Miz played Johnny Cage, he's gonna be my least likable character now on that show.
It's gonna be
What are
Keanu
you
Reeves.
talking about? He is fucking Johnny Cage, man. Like the
It's
dude.
Keanu Reeves.
He
Keanu
just
Reeves.
has a bit of a smirk. I mean, okay, I get Johnny Cage is supposed to be the smirky Hollywood dude, but the Miz is a heel. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather have someone else play Johnny Cage.
The Miz has played a good guy, and he's done it all right though. So
Eh,
he can do it.
he's more suited as a heel, I find. But okay, actually, for the movie itself, and this is what I told the fellas. I thought what gave it a positive score for me was the beginning and pretty much the final act. The middle stuff I could kind of do without, or it could have been done better. Put it that way. And I mean, it was leaps and bounds better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but that wasn't exactly a very high bar to set.
Yeah, let's be real.
Right.
Come on.
But I do find the casting in the original Mortal Kombat was much better than
Yes.
Mortal Kombat in this one.
Yep.
I mean, even one of the biggest disappointments was that Emperor Shang Tsung Samsung, you know, that it was like in the original Mortal Kombat, it felt like a menacing emperor, like, you know, I forgot the actor's name, but you know who the guy that played Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat.
Were you expecting him to say that famous, like when he was taking the soul out of that? I was expecting.
Mine.
Yeah, I was expecting that the whole time, and I even said that like afterwards, after he's doing it, I was like, babe, watch. Your soul, and then I stopped. And I'm like, oh, he didn't say it.
Yeah, they kind of. I mean, I know that they did a few fan services, like they said the word "test your might," like, you know, based on the techno theme song and all that.
I didn't like how they kept saying like flawless victory or like fatal. Like I didn't like the fact that they themselves.
I mean, I appreciate it. It was like a bit of a little East, like a nod to the fans, I guess, which I mean I can dig. But I never don't get it twisted. I never went into this movie expecting like Oscar-worthy performances, but I just found that, like you said, the main lead, Cole, who's not even he's an original character based on the movie. He's not even a fighter in the Mortal Kombat games. I just thought that the supporting cast kind of almost outshined him in the acting, and it kind of made him almost that much more wooden. And I found that, and I told you this in our private chat, how Kano, even though he kind of stole the show, I thought they should have dialed him back, because he stole the show so much to the point that it actually highlighted how the other actors weren't really picking up the slack that much. So I think they gave him too much lines in the movie, to the point that he became too much of a fan favorite, if that makes sense. Yeah, and I mean, and I guess we knew that there was going to be multiple Mortal Kombat movies, so I didn't think that we were going to get the full-blown tournament, but
I just didn't like how they came to them. Like the tournament didn't even like translate into anything. It was just like, no, we have to stop them, so we have to go to their cave, right? Like I just
basically the fact that they were breaking pretty much every rule pre-tournament. What I liked about the first movie was they almost kind of kept the code and how pretty much shit goes down in the tournament. Whereas in this case, it was pretty much like a free-for-all. Everyone was just getting. It's almost like we already got the tournament without actually getting the tournament, in a sense.
Yeah.
And if you know the Mortal Kombat lore, just like in comic books, people don't really stay dead in Mortal Kombat. So if you see people dying in the movie, don't think that that's it. It's pretty much like a cop.
Off a Sub-Zero in the first movie.
Like
he's coming back. He was such a hit. Like that's the only thing that everybody's talking about is Sub-Zero. So
yeah, because I was telling Keys also like.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Faith.
I was just gonna say this movie is like, it was like the definition of like good enough. It's just good enough to basically get a sequel. It's good enough to build something that could actually be good. I mean, there was some parts of this movie that were, you know, like Cole, the main character Cole, was pretty useless in the movie.
Did you think he was going to be Scorpion?
What's that?
I thought he was going to turn out to be Scorpion. Like when they went into that realm and he got that golden chest, I was like, don't tell me
No. He does not have the edge to be Scorpion.
No, I know, but like that's kind of where I thought they were going with it, and I was like, don't tell me he's Scorpion.
Okay, you know what? I was saying that the casting choice was not that great in this. The two actors that I thought knocked it out of the park, like from the top of my head, is I forgot his first name, but Sonata, who played Scorpion. You know, famous.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
He was always been one of my favorite actors. Like in his other movies. So him playing Scorpion, I thought fit the bill, and also Joe. I can't pronounce his last name, but he was in the Raid, and he played Sub-Zero. Those two guys, I thought, were pretty much stole this role. The only shame was the fact that Scorpion was pretty much at the beginning and at the end of the movie. He was nowhere to be found at pretty much throughout the entire rest of the movie.
This is where I break everybody's heart.
What number do you want to give it at? Answer the question. What number?
This is where I break everyone's heart. This is a 6 out of 10 for me, and that is a stretch only because of Sub-Zero. You know, to me, when I think of these video games and when I think about my childhood, just like I think about, like, you know, that X-Men cartoon, that Spider-Man cartoon, Iron Man, all the things that I was into, I was always into renting because we didn't buy, you know, we rented, and I always played as Sub-Zero, always. So for that, for me, I'm giving it a 6, but that's a stretch. Like, it's more of a 5 for me, but I'm gonna be nice, give it a 6. But yeah, it just, and hopefully it's the second one. But like Faye said, right? Let's, you know, it was just kind of there to get your feet wet, and yeah, you know.
I will give it a 6, but I'll give it a 0.5 because the end credit music does kind of play homage to the original techno music from Mortal Kombat, which then they remixed. So I'll give it a 6.5. And just before I toss it off to Face, I just want to also give a quick mini plug that I'll also be on Travel and Root Beer's show this week at some point, because he hit me up because he knew I'm a Mortal Kombat fan. So he wanted to do a bit more of an in-depth spoiler talk on the movie. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'll be on his channel this week to discuss that movie. So.
Man, I guess yeah, I guess we're all gonna stay in the same range because I'm gonna give it a 6 too. You know, it was, like I said, it was just the definition good enough. It was all right. There's things that they can definitely do better in the sequel. You know, give us the actual fight scenes in the fucking tournament. Get rid of Cole. You know, and get back to the actual lore of the series. At least somewhat. You know, I mean, like, because they kind of threw all that shit out. So. Yeah. You know, and bring back the fucking techno soundtrack. Why would you get rid of that? That was one of the highlights of the whole goddamn series.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, before we get into spec, again, I don't want to talk about it. It happened a few days ago. I'm sure everybody's sick of it. We'll talk CGC briefly. Brief. I'll probably say one thing. You guys can take the conversation. But let's just keep it brief. Obviously, everybody by now knows CGC is going to change the prices. They've gone up. Whatever side of the coin you're on, I've kind of said it a few times. I mean, let's be real. I think 85% people are still going to use them. You know, I know Journo's made a video of it, and he had some really good thoughts. I know Hyper, that transcended with you, because you know, you said you took away some things from that, and Journo knows his stuff. That's a big shout outs to Journo. Yeah, at the end of the day, though, I mean, for the average guy, the collector, the flipper, I mean, I think you're still gonna go CGC route. I think just the extra few dollars isn't. I think it's just gonna basically now make you not responsible. I think that's a bad word. It's just gonna make you be more picky, I guess, in what you send, right? Are you going to send a book that you aren't so sure on, or, you know, you just, you know, whatever? Yeah, I don't know. That's all I mean. Me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're not going to go through all the prices. Like, did you just leave? Because
no, sorry.
Like,
fuck this amount.
You just see yourself out because the CGC.
No. Sorry.
Listen, we're not going to go through the whole pricing structure. You guys can check that out on the CGC website, and I'm sure you probably got blasted with it on your social media. Listen, and like Newbie said, I watched Journal's video, and he brought up a good point, which I pretty much agree with. The rationale that CGC gave on their Facebook page, I believe, for increasing the prices is because they're increasing their facility and basically their grading technology and yada yada yada. Okay, fine. If that's your reason, then you pretty much have to kind of show the fruits of your investment, so to speak, with these charges. So basically, in the next few months, we should be seeing less rates of pubic hair being caught in those slabs. We should be seeing less cases of DC labels on Marvel books. We should be seeing less cases of books being slabbed upside down. If those quality control issues still persist, then that means that the extra charges were pretty much for nothing, because that was the reason why they said that those charges were being brought on, to basically increase quality control. So let's see. I mean, I found it was inevitable that at some point they will have to raise their prices. No company is going to remain, static in their prices, especially with inflation and everything that goes on. But you kind of have to evolve with the times, as Jonah mentioned. So it's more like let's see in the next few months before we start passing judgment on CGC, just to see if things have gotten better in terms of quality control there. But if you start seeing, like I said, if you start seeing hair in your slabs the same rate as you did before, and things being mislabeled and all that, personally, I think that should be like a zero. There shouldn't even be an allowance for that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's. And also the turnaround is also important as well, because I know people are complaining about shipping turnaround. So that's something that should technically be improved if they're increasing their facilities. So that's my take on it. Let's just wait and see.
Yeah, just a few comments to add. And again, we don't want to touch too much, because this could go another 5 hours just talking about this. We get people are upset. We also get people that understand it. One of them is Johnny's. Yeah, will turnaround time will not get better. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, more people working it. Will people turn to CBSI? I mean, I've heard people joke saying, PGX and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be a small percentage of people that go to it, but at the end of the day, if they get busier or whatever the case may be on their end, they might raise their price too, right? At some point, businesses go up. I get it. And then Tim's comment here, his local shop hasn't raised prices. Go and check, because you have until May 28th. After May 28th, that's when the prices take into effect. So if you send a book today, as long as it gets to them before that time, you are safe. So just
and I believe also if you renewed your membership, that 1 year membership, I think you're locked into the old price. I could be wrong, but I think that's also the other thing as well.
Yeah.
I guess my contribution to it is fairly negligible. I have opinions on it and everything, but ultimately, for me, the slabbing is basically just a plastic case on a book that I want to protect. I don't really. The grading system is so fucky and arbitrary that as long as the book to me is near mint, in my opinion, and I submit it, I just want to get it protected. I don't give a fuck what they send me back and say the grade is. Now, if they fuck my book up, I might have a problem with it, but
There's been cases of that happening also, yeah.
Again,
oh yeah, for sure. But I wonder what the numbers actually are on those. I mean, because people make a lot of noise when those mistakes do come in, so a lot of people hear about it and everything. But the volume is pretty high, so the percentage ratios on the mistakes probably still fairly low. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay or anything like that, but I mean, mistakes are gonna happen. There's no avoiding it totally. So.
And Johnny clarified that you get locked into the old benefits, but not the old prices if you renew your membership. So the old benefits being the 10% off discount.
Here's the thing. They are, I mean, if you want to argue it, go ahead. I mean, there's a reason why, people chase after CGC. I think people are still going to chase CGC. I think the book is what it is. It looks better in it. I have CBCS. I always butcher it. Yeah, CBCS.
CBCS, yeah.
Yeah. So it just depends on how valuable the book is or what the book means to you. my copy is Iron Man 1, and it's a book I'll never sell. So I didn't care if it was CGC or in that because I know it's never leaving anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's going to stay with me. But there are other books like my Hulk 181, my Giant Size X-Men, my Avengers 40. There's just books that I prefer them in CGC, and there's a lot of people who feel that way, right? So will we see more CBCS? I think so. There was a few people in my feed on Instagram, taking screenshots of their order to go to see CBCS. It is what it is, but I still think that after a while, people are just going to go back to CGC, and it's just the way it's going to be, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine. You're entitled to it. You don't have to agree with everybody. You don't have to agree with CGC. But at the end of the day, I mean, unless you work for them, they don't even know you exist, right? So
I do feel like we will see some kind of reaction though from CBCS at some point. Like, CBCS has not done anything since the announcement, and that's kind of surprising because like, I mean, they have a presence on Facebook and Instagram and everything like that, and they've taken shots at CGC before, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something with this too.
Unless they're planning on some price increases themselves. So
right, that's the only thing. If they're doing it too, then they'll stay fucking silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see where it goes. Something that's probably going to be monitored. Again, where turnaround dates are right now, it's usually it's at like 6-7 months. Okay. So it's not something that we're going to be able to come up with a definitive answer, say like at the end of the month, in 6 months. You have to look at it from like a year and a half kind of thing. So let's revisit this in 2023, right? It seems like a far away time, but that's kind of where we're going to actually get those numbers, right? We'll see. Again, we're not going to
realize the profit margins that people are making on their graded books, and they want some of that fucking money. That's what happens. So they're taking $5 off the top.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's going to go up too. Let's see. Before we go into the spec, honestly, the price updates aren't much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
They haven't upped their price in a very long time. Also true. My issue is the shipping to Canada. It's now, yeah.
I saw that. I saw that.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. We have it hard.
Ask Bleeker. Bleeker, if you're in here, man, he messaged me and he's like, Newbie, they charged me an additional $600 on books that are like it's crazy. I was like,
wait,
what?
hold on. That's a different issue altogether. I think they probably charged you $600 because they probably graded it at a different tier. I don't think that's just shipping. That's probably something else.
I don't know, man. I know he was pissed. So
yeah, it's probably because you got bumped to a different tier in your grading.
$100. I'd be like, nah, y'all, send me my motherfucking books back. Refund my money. I'll call CBCS.
Wait, Newbie, just a question. Were those books, were they modern or were they like silver?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. So if he's here, maybe he can clarify. But I know that he was a little upset, and I get what Vancouver's saying because obviously I'm in Canada, so yeah. But it happens, guys. It's business. It's the world. We'll see where things go. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get on to spec, and I'm glad that Vancouver's still in here because actually there's a few books that I won't take all the credit for. I know that there's books that he and I were talking about, and they made their way on my list. Oh, here it is, right here. I paid $500 for 40 books and shipping.
Damn, that's like over $100 per label.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So Bleeker said they took $330 for the new price.
Sorry, never mind.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good, but yeah, it's gonna make you think twice. I think it's going to be interesting to see, and we have to see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting to see if people send books now or if people are just buying them already CGC. You know what I mean? Like that's also going to have an effect because people have to add in more, and then we're going to see price. It's just there's a headache. So you know what? That's last week. It's Sunday night. We're almost into the new week. So let's just leave that stuff in the past there. All right. Newbie spec of the week. And guys, I do want to apologize because last week I noticed late in the week that I only gave you guys 3 books. And there was one book that I really wanted to talk about, and I forgot to. And it makes a lot of sense because of what happened. And I feel terrible. And you could say, oh, yeah, Newbie, whatever. Yeah, okay. But no, it was true. I had this book on the list. I didn't give it to you guys last week. I don't know what it'll do now for you. Again, we'll see.
Is this after the show?
Well, here's your late spec. It already panned out. Fucking
Yeah, like, so, like, I don't know.
Never mind. Here you go.
I don't know what it's going to do. Some people think team-ups are big, and there's some spec value there. Some people say costumes or whatever. You guys know what it did in Wanda, what it did in Vision, and things like that. So that's why I say this for this book. First book. We got Captain America 337. Again, this is the book I was talking about that should have been on last week's, but this is the first appearance of Steve Rogers as Captain. It's not what the importance is. It's the first appearance of the U.S. agent suit. So you got the black. I mean, he's got the shield in there. This is a homage to Avengers 4, episode 5 ending, of course, building the shield. You can see in what I'm reading, what I put in here, that this was obviously meant for last week. Will it be the West Coast Avengers 45 of the series? Well, that would have been kind of fun to play around with last week, now that we know where the book is. These prices I haven't checked. Okay, so if Sam's in here or whatever the case may be, please let me know some updated ones. But last week, before the episode dropped, raw copies were selling anywhere between $12 and $45 Canadian. And the last CGC sold was a 9.8 for $385 Canadian. Again, I don't know where a lot of the suits go. I mean, I know I was having conversations with a few people saying, like, hey, this could be like what happened with Vision. I could see it, right? But I don't think it has the same effect. This one right now, I don't know where it's at, but at a 9.8, $385, if it does turn into that West Coast Avengers in the next couple of days, in the next couple of weeks, that's not a bad buy-in at that price. But again, me personally, I don't think I would have bought in this book before it or after it. I mean, if I found it in a dollar bin, maybe, but I'm not spending $385 on this book ever, even now that I know what happened and things like that. But again, keep it in mind, this is who we're going to see, right? Like, he's not dead. We're going to see him possibly in the Thunderbolts, something like that. So we'll see.
It's I find like these team specs are a bit volatile just because there's a lot of teams that are kind of floating in terms of what people might expect to see in the MCU. We're talking like Thunderbolts, Dark Avengers, even some variation of West Coast Avengers, which the U.S. agent was also a part of. And also, like, you could break it down all the way to Young Avengers. So I just find that, yeah, if you get them at a cheap buy-in, it's not a bad deal. But this isn't one of those books that I would be heavy into. Like, I wouldn't spend that much money on a 9.8. If anything, I would just find this raw in a back issue bin or something. Just because.
Yeah, it's funny you. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Face.
I was gonna say it's funny you say that, because actually I just picked this up a few months ago in a back issue bin.
There you go.
Before this started and everything.
I would have been a genius if I talked about this book when I wanted to last week, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, and I picked it up. Obviously I grabbed the raw copy and everything like that. Wasn't worried about getting it graded or anything. It's pretty good condition. I just, I liked how the character's arc played out over the series. I liked Wyatt Russell's portrayal of the character, and I feel like they are trying to build towards like the Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers, which could be really awesome. I mean, you could see sort of not necessarily the same thing as like Bucky and Cap, or Bucky and Falcon, or the new Captain America, but like a similar sort of kind of relationship play out between maybe Zemo and U.S. agent in Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers. So it could be interesting. He's a good actor. He made you hate him, he made you love him at the same time. So He's got a future for sure.
It just has to depend on, and again, people think that it's the West Coast Avengers of the show. I think that one, as much as I agree with the spec on it, right? I just don't think it has the same value. I think for this case, you still want to have that first appearance of U.S. agent, right? I don't think that this one does any justice. So some of the prices are kind of a little crazy. Again, I wouldn't pay $385. Sam's saying that a 9.8 sold for $175. So yeah, I don't know. Again, my numbers are from like 2 weeks ago when I made it, right? Because I was planning on giving you this book last week and I forgot. So,
well, I mean, at least now that the show's over, we can at least know for a fact that U.S. Agent is here to stay. So for people that were specking on him and thinking that maybe there might have been questions as what's his future after Falcon Winter Soldier, we know that clearly they have plans for him. So anyone that bought the first John Walker U.S. Agent, I think there's still there are plans for him in the MCU in the future. Those of you that bought into Flag Smashers, though, those people are. I mean, we knew the Flag Smashers were going to be almost, at least most of us knew they were going to be one and done. So
yeah. And Chad is saying it's a tough 9.8 with the white cover. Yeah, this is a tough book to get 9.8. Very tough.
Sure.
All right. Next book, Vancouver, if you're in here, I'd love to hear your comments or thoughts. But let's go. Next book on the list is...
Same book. Oh, my God.
G.I. Joe Transformer #1. Yes, crossover, having both. You guys heard me rather say that I really think that this stuff is happening. You guys always hear me say, too, that Hasbro has committed billions with a B. Not to be communicated with millions. I'm talking billions. They are investing billions of dollars. I do want to give a big shout out to Vancouver Comic Junkie. He was the one that kind of put me on this book a few weeks, maybe even months ago. White cover. Again, it's the first series with obviously Transformers and G.I. Joes. Raw copies selling anywhere between $5 and $20 on eBay. The last CGC sold was a 9.6 for $114. That is extremely low, especially for that grade. I did not see any 9.8s. Vancouver always tells me. He goes, well, his name's Chris, so I don't want to call him Vancouver, but Comic Junkie. He's always saying they're in bins. He's seen them in bins. I guess it would just depend on your area because I told him there's none of those in my area. I have not seen this book in the wild yet, but this is definitely a book that I would put into your mind. Master this cover and search it because you really want this book. Really do.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't even realize this crossover existed. I mean, I'm not a big of a Joe comic fan as much as Face or even you are Newbie. So this is actually a bit of a surprise to me that this crossover existed even back then. So yeah, I mean, it seems cool. I don't know. I have really nothing much to add to it, but it's a cool crossover concept. I think Face will probably.
If you find it, man, if you find it, I would pick it up, especially if the price is right. A lot of shops don't really know what this is, but yeah, definitely something that I would grab onto for sure.
Well, me being a fan of both G.I. Joe and Transformers, I actually have I don't know, probably about 14 copies of this issue somewhere.
Yeah,
I actually have a shit ton of these. And I love both these franchises, and I know Hasbro is trying to angle towards building the cohesive movie universe and probably put these together in the future. So it is definitely something we could see. To be honest, even the IDW crossovers that they've done with G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff like that, are probably worth looking into. It's been awesome every time that they've crossed over these series. So
yeah,
hopefully it'll pan out that way in movies if we ever get it.
I know I told Bleeker about this book, and he picked it up, and he got it at a good price. But yeah, people are catching on. it's something that I think a lot of people A, don't know about, and B, people are catching on. You're either on one side of the fence, but this is kind of heating up. Some copies that were on eBay not too long ago are kind of gone now, so it's probably a time to start looking. If you're in Ontario, obviously you only have eBay or social media, but definitely once everything opens up, definitely a book that I would recommend everybody trying to look for.
Yeah.
I probably actually have the copy that I got when I was a kid. So
I'm assuming I would assume there's a newsstand for this as well, right?
Ooh.
yeah,
I
I'm
believe
sure.
so. I'd have to look, but I think
Yeah,
so.
of your 14 copies, I'm sure you have a mix of direct and newsstands, I would assume.
Yeah, I think there is. When it comes to like the actual GI Joes, there's a lot of second prints, so you have to be on the lookout for that. This one, I don't think there is second prints like that other one, so I think you'll be very good.
Yeah, that I know there's not a second printing on this one. I could be wrong.
And Vancouver Comic Junkie saying, and he's a big GI Joe's guy, big. He's saying, I'm one book away from getting all the GI Joe keys in 9.8 from issue 1 to 50.
Oh, nice.
Nice. That's a hell of a fucking run right there. Yeah, there's a shit ton of keys in those early GI Joe runs and Transformers too.
So. Definitely a book I am definitely looking for myself. There was a 9.6 on eBay for like $80, and it sold. You can imagine, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? It's GI Joe and Transformers. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I can definitely see this book going up. So take that for what it's worth. Again, don't buy like 1,000 copies of this and then like tomorrow morning tell me, hey, it didn't pan out yet. I didn't give my advisory. Like, hey, we're not advising anybody to buy these books, or at least I'm not. I'm not telling anybody to stack it. These are just books that are on my mind that I come across doing some research, things like that, and I like to spec on. That's it. No, don't take it more than that. Buy at your own risk. Okay. So
basically, we might be taking a chance on.
Yeah.
I just want to address an earlier question by Empire Comics. It was just from your previous spec. He was wondering if John Walker was ever part of the Thunderbolts. From my knowledge, I know he was part of Dark Avengers and West Coast Avengers.
He wasn't.
I don't think he ever was a member of Thunderbolts. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. Chat, you could correct me.
I think you're right. I believe you're right.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
But again, like I was saying earlier, Marvel is changing stuff up, so you could easily see him in Thunderbolts, and I mean, it would be all right, I guess.
Yeah, and Face, you said that for a long time. Like, they don't necessarily have to follow the comics at all. So
it would be fucking boring if they did, to be honest. So
yeah. Well, book number 3. Here we go. We got Spider-Man Annual 22. What the hell is that? What the hell is this? Well, it's the first appearance of Speedball. You guys can read that second quote. Laugh. I'll wait.
Oh, don't worry, I already did.
I forget who I was chatting about this book with, because somebody had brought it up to me, right? And I go, oh man, you know what? Like, I think it could hold some value. I think it could be something, could be a sleeper. And that person laughed at me like hard. And I don't understand why, because like this person brought it up to me and was talking to me about it. And then all I said was, you know what? It's cheap spec. It's something that possibly could happen, whatever. You don't have to like the character. I get it. He's not your kid's not going to dress up as Speedball for Halloween. Okay, put it that way.
Why not? Look at that fucking costume. It's awesome.
They're not leaving the house if they're dressing up like that.
You know what I mean? It's funny. But again, it's only funny and stupid until it happens. Right? That's the way it works. It's cheap spec. Raw copy sell anywhere between $5 and $30. The last CGC sold was $9.4, $100 Canadian.
And
Speedball. He correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. He was New Warriors, Secret Warriors. Which fucking team was he on? I can't remember.
Wasn't it Secret?
But wait, I think Bricks has a point. Wasn't he part of the reason, like the whole school bombing that happened during the beginning of Civil War in the comics?
Yes, he was. That's why I think it was the New Warriors. I think that was the team that they were on at the time. I could be wrong.
New Warriors. Okay, yeah,
I don't
everybody's saying New Warriors. New Warriors.
That and actually that could be an interesting storyline for a Disney Plus series to explore. So I could actually see this happening.
Yo, Chad, you're killing me, man. So inject heroin, cocaine mix, and put on blue spandex. Listen,
in that DC Snowflame though. Oh no, wait, he wears white spandex. So
guys, listen. You guys go look. Some of these have been picking up. It's cheap spec. It's things like that. I haven't seen it in the wild. I've seen a few people who have spec'd on this and who have talked about this in the past, collect it and things like that. I mean, again, it's only stupid until it happens. If it hits, I'm going to look like a genius. If it doesn't, nobody's ever going to remember, right? Like, that's just the truth. But again, I really do think that it's something to be on the lookout for, especially if you can find it in dollar bids and things like that. So, something to be on the lookout for. That's all. Just giving you guys some information.
Bro, I mean, you know what? See, here's the thing. I'm laughing, but I'm laughing for a completely different reason. Like, I love this spec, like, because Marvel it has shown and is showing that they like to play around and explore the different aspects of actually being a superhero and how hard that actually could be. And that storyline with New Warriors fits that mold. So, yeah, like I said, I mean, a Disney Plus show for like even just that arc, like they did with WandaVision, could be something that they do in the future, and it would be pretty dope.
Yeah. And what Spider likes is saying he calls himself Speedball. My condolences to your significant other. And
this is kind of how I think everybody. This is kind of how I think everybody is reacting to what I just said. If it shows up, that'd be great.
Is the soundtrack ready for this?
Hold on.
What in the world is going on up in here? Am I the only one listening to this?
That's how I feel.
I was watching that the other day, and I had to save it. I was like, you know what? And I've been sending my buddies, my family, the same thing. Like when people say something, I'll just send that to them. So
hopefully you don't get copyright strike for that or anything like that.
It's under 10 seconds. We're good.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, hey, there you go. But again, guys, this is definitely a book I would be on the lookout for. Vancouver's saying you'll definitely be a genius. Okay, well, hey, I'm hoping.
It is cheap as shit, so I mean.
Yeah, and like RP saying, like I said, it doesn't have to follow books or anything like that. If he shows up, let's look at history. And I always say, look at history and look at numbers, because those two things don't lie. Okay, and I learned that from Floyd Mayweather. So.
And this book I can get behind this book a lot more than that book that almost made me have an aneurysm on your last show, the Rob Liefeld Captain America one.
Oh yeah, dude. But people, dude, I've seen that book so much now, though. Like, it's just, oh man, it's crazy.
The chest.
Yeah, well, it's not so much the book itself, but how much people Newbie mentioned on his slides that they were paying for it. I think he said up to $60 for it.
$60, yeah.
That shit.
Ricky? Yeah, Ricky Barnes. Yeah.
Ricky Barnes, yeah.
So we'll see. But again, guys, this is definitely a book that if it hits, come hit me up. It is what it is. But again, it's just some spec that I'm following, that I'm doing. Not necessarily something that you guys have to, but again, be on the lookout for it. That's all. All right.
Yeah.
Next book, and I believe it's the last one. But if you're looking for a quick flip, well, here you go. Amazing Spider-Man 86. Because if you can't get the first appearance of Black Widow, and yes, we do have a movie coming out. It is Black Widow, and it does come out in July now. Newbie, but why are you telling me this? People should know. Like, look at the first appearance. Yes, but what did I just say? If that's out of your reach, what do people usually go for? The next best thing. What has the last two shows taught us anything about spec or anything about when people decide to go get a book? It doesn't matter if it's right in front of you. People will still go and chase it. And I think as we lead up to it, this book, because of the fact it's an origin and because of the fact that Cameo's origins do matter, I think this one will see a price increase. I really do. And the last CGC sold was an 8.0 for $415. I'm not saying go pick up an 8.0 for $415. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is if you can find a really good copy, send it to a really good presser, get it clean because it's got a lot of white on it, and you can turn it looking into a good copy for low amounts of money, this could be flipped into something really quickly. Again, Black Widow's done. So unless you're like a big fan of the character, you're probably not going to hold on to it, but you can make a quick buck there.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely. I'm actually surprised that, despite us being very close to the movie, that this book is flying under the radar. Because yeah, you hear about the other Black Widow books kind of heating up, like obviously her first appearance and Inhumans 5, the first Yelena Belova. So and also obviously
Yolanda who?
Sorry, what?
Yolanda who?
You know what? I almost pulled a Newbie because I'm so used to saying Yolanda Belova that I completely forgot her actual name, and I had to go back to the back of my head and kind of pull that out. Yeah, I mean, and obviously Red Guardian's also been spec'd on Taskmaster, so this one kind of is falling into the radar. But yeah, and we know how collectors are. Once certain books, like those books that I mentioned, once those start getting priced out, they'll start going for these other books like the Origins or her second appearance and all that. So this, could definitely be a book like Newbie said that could be a quick flip. Because I haven't heard much about this book yet. So this could definitely be something that will heat up once we're closer to the movie, even though we're pretty close as it is.
Well, it's got delayed again, right? So July. So
yeah, but I mean, July's only a few months away. It's not like we're not looking at 2022.
Well, you never know. You never know.
I like this book because first of all, I actually like that cover. It's pretty cool.
You have 14 copies of this one too? Is that what you're gonna say?
What's up?
Are you gonna say you got 14 copies of this one too?
No, actually, I'm gonna have to pick this one up. I don't have it at all. But yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna grab this one. Like I said, I like the cover. For an old school Spidey cover, with Black Widow on there and everything. And personally, I'm a big fan of origin stories, and I think they should be a thing. So, yeah, I think I'm actually gonna have to grab this one on Newbie's recommendation. Thank you, Newbie Comic.
Like I said, from an investment and a flip, I know people are gonna say, "Well, Newbie, we already know a movie's coming." Yeah, we also knew that WandaVision was coming, and Winter Soldier, Falcon was coming, and people were still late on some things. We went WandaVision 3 episodes, knowing that Agatha was right there, and that book did nothing until like the 5th episode or 6th episode. Okay, so it is what it is. If you want to make a few bucks, again, is this going to be a $1,000 book? Well, I don't know, because an 8.0 sold for $415. So if you find a really high grade copy for cheap, maybe. But at the same time, you might be able to make a few bucks, and that's all you really want when you're flipping and investing really quickly, right? Chef is saying, Newbie, do you see this book as a flip, whether the movie does well or not? For me, if I come across this book, I pick it up, like I said, for all those reasons that I just mentioned, and I could get it cleaned and pressed and all that stuff. It would definitely just be a quick flip, and here's why. Black Widow's done. They've made it very clear that Yelena is going to be the next Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson is done with the role. This movie was, I don't think anybody's going to come out and say it at Marvel, but let's be real. This is kind of just one of those, out of respect, we're going to give you your own movie for everything that she's done for the projects, right? So, I think she's done. Will we see her maybe in flashbacks? Of course, but what are flashbacks going to do for a character that we already know is dead and they can't bring her back? They literally said that in Endgame, that they can't bring her back. So, yeah. There's not much. Unless you're a Black Widow fan, hey, I would keep it. If you're really young and you think that maybe in 50 years, if you're 15 years old and you think in 50 years they're going to revisit doing Black Widow, then hey, yeah, by all means. But I don't know. I just don't think that the fact that the character's done it's going to hold value, right?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't really have I mean, I'm gonna watch the movie regardless, but it's just that whenever you get these kind of prequels and you already know the fate of the characters involved, well, at least in this case, one of the characters, it's kind of hard for me to get hyped for that movie because it's almost like you said, it's pretty much one and done with Scarlett Johansson's character. Pretty much the future's with Yelena Belova. But it's like that's why like I always prefer movies that are set in time present. Like I'm not really a big fan of these prequel movies in general.
Yeah, me too.
Well, the thing with this movie is it feels like it's going to be more of like a passing of the torch sort of movie.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of passing the torch more to Yelena. So I think the future spec primarily would focus more on Yelena going forward and how they're going to use her in the MCU. That being said, there's still a lot of Black Widow fans that are out there, and there are still people that are going to go, because we've seen it with everything that Marvel's done so far, every movie that's come out, every series, whenever different things happen in them, different books spike for whatever reason. So Black Widow's still going to have fans. There's still going to be spikes on the book when movies come out. It's not for sure which ones they're going to be, but it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. But again, it's just, I think, and I've talked to you guys about it in our private chats. I've talked about it with a few people in the chat that I see. The next thing, because the way it was supposed to work was, this last Friday was the end of Winter Soldier. We were supposed to get this Black Widow movie in 2 weeks, and whether they put some Easter eggs or not, it was supposed to give us at least something to think about. Now we're basically waiting until June 11th. So if you're a speculator, if you're into flipping, the conversation is going to be very interesting on where your mind, your imagination, and what rumors are going to go around for the next 4, 5, almost 6.
Is it June or July?
June 11th is for Loki.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Like I always joke and say, like I joked today on somebody's channel. I made the comment because they were talking about it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, did anybody pay attention? Sebastian Stan was wearing a blue shirt at the end of Falcon Winter Soldier," and then I put ... Cyclops confirmed. Right? Like you gotta have fun with it, but it's gonna be interesting to see where ideas, rumors, and all this stuff goes in the next 6 weeks, because we literally have nothing for, I think it's 5 weeks, 5.5, somewhere around there. But we literally have nothing until Loki, right? So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and during those 5 weeks, that's when collectors' minds will run all over the place, and they'll start, and you'll see specs and all that coming from the woodworks.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. So, yeah, we've got Loki June 11th. We've got Black Widow July 9th. During that time, we also are supposed to get those what-if stories. So we'll see about that. We should get a few trailers, right? We should probably – Spider-Man comes out in September. So you think that we would probably get, if not one, maybe 2 more Spider-Man trailers. We're probably obviously going to get another Shang-Chi trailer.
Is it Shang or Shang?
It's Shang.
Is Shang really?
It's not Shang.
So we've been pronouncing it wrong the whole time.
Yep, it's Shang.
Oh.
Shang-Chi. So, yeah. And if that's wrong, then I apologize. Yeah, and we also have that on Hulu, Mudik. Yeah, we've got a few things, but it's going to be interesting to see where the next couple things are. Swagglehouse is saying the trailer rumored for this week.
Oh, I'll definitely be watching it. Oh, I hope
I've said this in the past. Usually some of these trailers historically, right, in the last couple of years have come out on Memorial Day, Columbus Day, like for you Americans, right? For us Canadians, it's something else. But it's, with these holidays coming up, like I'm expecting, from May to July now, like I think we're going to get like our Spider-Man. I think we're going to get our Eternals. Like that's the one I'm kind of really waiting on is Eternals. but I can't lie. Like I kind of want to see what Carnage is going to look like because I've got a few books I need to sell. So yeah, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good summer. I think it's just going to be shitty that we got to wait 5 weeks of nothing. And maybe Marvel throws us a bone. Maybe they up it a week. Maybe they throw out a trailer or something. You never know. Something could happen. So we'll see.
The Zemo cut part 2.
Yeah. Okay. Tuesday show. We moved the hottest comics of April 1 week. So on Tuesday, we're going to have Dan. And Dan is always in our chats. Big shout outs to Dan. Dan is giving and putting up a 8.0 first appearance of Cloak and Dagger comic for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So be on the lookout for that. Speaking of, I think I'm about 40 away from 2,000. So, hopefully we get there quick. We got a lot of books, a lot of gift cards, a lot of stuff to give out. So, let's hopefully get there. I'm trying to get to 2,000 before May 25th. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, we're going to have Dan on. Dan is an experienced collector. He's been collecting for, and I don't want to age him. He's been collecting for let's say 20 and 30 years. Okay. So he'll be on the show this Tuesday with us. He's going to give us his expertise on Silver Age and Bronze Age. He's going to dab into some of the things he's seen over his time in the market. And I think that's very important for those people who aren't patient enough to hold certain books. I think he's going to give a lot of insight on that. He's going to touch on the CGC stuff because, again, he's an experienced collector. So he's seen, the roller coaster. He's been at every part of the roller coaster. And he's also going to give us, I believe it's 5 or 6 books because we do have a small presentation. So we do have about 5 or 6 books that he wants to specifically talk to everybody about. So I think that's going to be interesting because anytime experienced collectors give you information, it's always nice to have a pen and paper lined up, and he's got a lot of information. So and a method on how to collect too. So it's going to be very interesting. The show is going to be focused more on him, so you're not really going to hear me or us talk a lot. It's just going to be Dan giving some free information, free advice, and just his standpoint on the comic community. So that's going to happen Tuesday, 9:35 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, tune into that. And like I said, Dan is giving away first appearance of Cloak and Dagger, an 8.0 CGC for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So make sure you guys go tell the mailman, the milkman, everybody and everybody.
Whoa, which part of Canada are you living in that you have a milkman?
Dude, Niagara-on-the-Lake has milkmen still.
Oh my gosh! Do you guys also have a horse and carriage or something when you go to work?
So yeah.
I just want to co-host get in on the giveaway, or do I got to quit the show before Dan does it?
We'll see what happens. Speaking of the giveaways and things like that, so myself, obviously Hyper, Face, I think Azores is giving some stuff out. They're putting some stuff out. We got some gift cards going out, things like that. I've been asked by a few people, Newbie, why haven't you put out a video telling us what's going on with your subscriber giveaway? Here's why. I am really going to do it live. I want to give back to the people who tune into us more so than just a random person that might just drop a line or a thumbs up and then get something. You know what I mean? Like I really truly want to give it back to the people who tune in every Sunday and Tuesday and watch the videos. So I want to do that more so than just put out a video. I will put out a video saying, hey, that's what we're gonna do. But yeah, I really do want to just give it back to the people who kind of tune in more frequently. All right. So that's probably why you haven't seen a video yet. But with that said, that's all I got to say. Hype, what do you got coming up? I know you, Face, and Keys got some stuff brewing in May. So what do you got coming up?
Yeah. Wait, before I continue, is this going to be Dan's first YouTube appearance, I believe? Right? if I'm not mistaken. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think this could be your first YouTube. So if that's the case, man, we're honored that you chose our channel to make your debut. And if it's not your first appearance, we're still honored anyways. But
I thought you were like, if not, well then,
yeah, so like Newbie mentioned, me and Face and Keys have something lined up for somewhat of a spin-off show that's going to be, I guess it's going to be a hodgepodge of different things like FOC and other things. You'll see. We have some things brewing, but I believe when Face mentions it when he speaks, I believe he has it penned for next week as the first episode. So yeah, look out for that. We'll definitely post announcements once we actually have confirmation. Other than that, couple of things this week. I'll actually be on No Good Comics channel on Saturday. Where if you watch No Good Comics on Saturdays, he basically spotlights different people within the community and talks about their comic book origins, and it ends up usually being a fun interview. So Justin's always been a great interviewer when I've seen his other guests. So I'm honored that he actually approached me to be on his show. So definitely tune in on Saturday, and hope to see you guys in the chat. What else? Not Friday. Next Friday. So not this Friday. Next Friday, I will be defending my YouTube TV title for the third time. Those of you that tuned in 2 days ago saw me defend it, and you guys know I take this shit seriously. I always try to bring the heat when I bring out my books, and I always appreciate you guys in the chat that tune in and show your support. And listen, I'll give up the title when I'm ready to give up the title. So
shit! Listen to that smack talk.
That's gonna be my MO, and you guys, it's not too late to come on board the hyper train. So I'll be continuing to chug along. So that's what I have. And of course, you can follow me on IG at hyper.combo.comics. My YouTube channel's there with its 2 videos so far, and that's it.
Face, before you go, I just want to give light to one thing, or one person rather. Special occasion. Somebody who, when I first started out, put me on his show, kind of got me out. So paying it forward, but somebody's celebrating 2 years on YouTube.
Oh.
And it is Just a Rican and his comics. Rod is one of the nicest people, most genuine people. I can't say enough about this guy. I don't even know if, I know he doesn't know I'm doing this. This is just how I view him. But definitely, when I noticed that he was celebrating his 2 years on YouTube, I had to give him a shout out, man. He is the shout out king. He shout outs channels every Sunday. He's got a lot of fun content. So make sure you guys go check him out. One of the good guys in the community. And like I said, when I first started out, he put me on and kind of got me out there for other people. So, paying it forward, make sure you guys go check him out. Tomorrow, he will start his year 3 on YouTube. So wish him nothing but success. And if you don't know, now you know. Yep. All right, Face, what do you got coming up, brother?
Well, yeah, we've been talking about it for a minute, and next week we're gonna have the first episode of our new show. Just to give a little bit more information about it, we are trying to focus on basically we want to give what we feel is probably like the most important, most relevant information that's going on for and to the comic community on a weekly basis. Just whether that's news, some books that are coming out on FOC, whatever, whatever's big that week. So got a couple of different segments that me, Hyper, and Keys are working out to provide that information in a relatively short time frame, so that people don't have to sit and maybe watch for 2 hours or anything like that. So we're gonna try and keep it a little shorter.
Cool. So yeah, that comes out this week.
Next week.
Next week. Sorry, yeah. I keep thinking because like I'm looking at my calendar and Saturday is May, so I just keep thinking this week. But yeah, so that's gonna happen. Finally gonna happen. So yeah, guys,
Right.
that's our show. We will see you guys Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Spoiler alert. I will be working, so we will do what we did 2 weeks ago. And yeah, that's how committed I am to this thing. So yeah, so 9:30 p.m. Tuesday. Tune in. Again, I'll be going water, no Corona for me. But yeah, that's our show, guys. As always, keep searching for the books because they're out there.
Peace.